Su Xing extended his hand. Li Shishi's enchanting smile was even deeper. Her white palm emitted fire that transformed into a beautiful phoenix fan. Her left hand attacked at the same time. The phoenix fans were spry and lively, radiating flames all around. Her slender waist spun around, her body techniques like a dance. Dance steps began. Su Xing naturally did not believe he would actually dance with Li Shishi. The instant she made her move, his flying swords flew out at the same time. The 5 elements flying swords each released spirit light and spiraled around. Their sword lights were resplendent, descending. Li Shishi's, Feng and Huang, closed and opened, flapping like actual phoenix wings. Gorgeous flames directly struck apart the flying sword's assault, and Li Shishi reached in front of Su Xing at the same time, her fans sweeping upwards. Su Xing shouted, opening the meditative mind lotus flower, but Li Shishi's technique was valiant. The phoenix wings sent Su Xing directly into the air, surrounding him in flames and igniting. Su Xing's blossoming meditative mind lotus flower was surprisingly scorched away in the blink of an eye. But Su Xing's powers were not limited to this. He snapped his fingers, firing purple mansion immortal thunder. Purple thunder rolled. Li Shishi showed a bit of interest. The graceful woman's legs stepped into the air, her phoenix brilliant as she took flight with her wings. Her slender waist seemed to dance. The true killing move was emerging, like a phoenix's arrogant wings. Purple thunder was immediately smashed. Su Xing flipped before he landed, thus avoiding ending up in a sorry state. He lifted his head to look, but his chest scorched with pain. 2 wounds appeared. Li Shishi gracefully landed, her phoenix arrogant and lofty, just like the proud bird itself. Even the most outstanding Gongsun Huang showed slight astonishment at Li Shishi's gorgeous attack. Li Shishi slightly smiled. That was her dark technique just now. Spreading wings. So powerful. Su Xing's heart sank. In their brief encounter, the dark technique broke his meditative mind lotus flower and flying swords. The smoothly flowing attack completely dazzled his field of view. Su Xing did not expect he would be unable to receive the attack. If you are unable to keep up with this girl's dance steps, this girl is unable to inform Mr. of Things. Li Shishi slightly smiled and said. I understand. Su Xing spat out a mouthful of essence blood, manifesting the dragon sparrow long saber. The moment he grasped the hilt, the dragon phoenix on the blade seemed to let out a cry. The next instant, Su Xing's body was like an arrow, already pressing the attack. The saber tip broke open a scorching heatwave. The phoenix blocked. Li Shishi spun around, rendering Su Xing's attack futile, but the fierce assault only just began. The dragon sparrow long saber's chi erupted, rolling over like a tidal wave. A chilling winter spring became an enormous bird that swooped down upon Li Shishi. The cold tore apart the air. Li Shishi's wonderful hands and technique changed. The phoenix fans were held together. The beautifully began to spin. Her magnificent feathered robe started to flutter, each feather like a singing phoenix, and as Li Shishi spun where she was, she danced. Rays of light flooded out that intertwined with the dragon sparrow's baleful aura. Endless destruction. Endless nirvana. Endless, harsh collisions. An indescribable sense of beauty practically captivated all of Su Xing's wives. If it was not for knowing this was Yan Yizhen's heaven-rank incarnation, Hua Wanyue would have somewhat impatiently fired an arrow into this dance party. What did you mean just now by saying I lacked destiny? Su Xing asked, using light smoke dance steps, blossoming the meditative mind lotus flower at the same time for protection. Is destiny not what is in Mr.'s hand? Li Shishi warmly replied. The scent of orchids assailed him. The phoenix fans stuck at Su Xing's vitals. Su Xing's expression chilled, and purple cloud east approaches emerged. The surroundings filled with purple chi, seemingly becoming his world. The purple star transforming Chi's highest realm, purple cloud east approaches, could make purple clouds fill the world at any time. And in these purple clouds, Su Xing seemed to create a world that was a different sort of wonder when compared to Chao Wuhui's colored glass world. Ordinary people would be suppressed if they intruded into purple cloud east approaches. But Li Shishir ignored it. Purple cloud east approaches was completely unable to touch her clothes. Her dance subjugated purple cloud east approaches. This is her innate skill. Country ruination. Su Xing suddenly understood what Li Shishir's innate skill. Country ruination was. Li Shishir grinned. She danced before Su Xing, her slender waist twisting. The phoenix fans in her hands pincered from above and below, assuming Feng Six Huang. Beautiful flames leapt off her body. Subsequently, the girl's fans rushed toward Su Xing, like a pair of dexterous arms about to hug him. Although Su Xing resisted with all his might, he was still seized by the unstoppable fans. The beauty that could inflame all things was now in front of Su Xing. In Lin Yingmei and the others' eyes. The scene in front of them could be said to be filled with a suggestive atmosphere. Li Shishir joined her arms around Su Xing's shoulders as if embracing him, twisting her waist and raising her butt. Phoenixes danced around them, bringing Su Xing above the 9 firmaments, startling everyone. The experience was indescribably painful for Su Xing. Although Li Shishir danced as she embraced him, his entire body from head to toe had been restricted. His body was unable to refuse any one of Li Shishir's movements. The beautiful flames nibbled at Su Xing's consciousness. A warm and soft feeling from the opponent's body made him unable to resist. You have the fortune to be the first man to accompany this girl for her earth dance. If you can keep up, Shishir shall inform you of destiny and the star duels. Li Shishir opened her full lips. She did not speak, but her voice was already transmitted into Su Xing's mind. The world dimmed its tenderness in the subsequent approach. Earth-rank dance Feng soars the skies, foresees Si Huang. 7 Worthies Village. Feng Mojia slowly roused from her slumber. Your Highness, you slept somewhat long this time. Shi Xian and the others knelt deferentially before her. In comparing their manners, Shi Xian's tone was somewhat contrasting. What changes have occurred? Feng Mojia lowered her eyelids, a half-asleep, half-awake appearance. Your Highness, your vigor is not very good. Pang Shu tugged at her bow. The star duels are already approaching their end. They ought to reach Maiden Mountain within 2 months, but there is a problem. The girl wearing dark blue dragon-patterned robes while exposing her snow-white thighs stood up. Feng Mojia cast a calm glance. The charming young general of the Xianliang Shude replied, I used dragon spirit to learn that there is a fiend star purple thunder monster in these star duels. The other star masters are very afraid of him. They have formed an alliance, so they will not reach Maiden Mountain before then. Rather, they will choose an unavoidable place to encircle and kill the purple thunder monster. Shall we take action or spectate? Of course we must take action. An internecine strife is boring. Your Highness, what do you say? Pang Shu stuck out her chest, offering to head out. But there is also another piece of information. There is a strange rumor saying anomalies have appeared in these star duels. Some are able to scale the peak without using a contract. This ought to be information that the purple thunder monster leaked in order to wedge apart the alliance. That there would be such a smart man, I want to meet him. The woman licked her lips. In the end, everything will be arranged according to your Highness. Feng Mojia pondered, then said in a low voice, do you feel that if we allow these star masters to scale the mountain, perhaps that will change our tense relationship with the Empress? These words shocked the generals. Even the Deng Yuanjue, whose eyes were closed in rumination, opened them, showing astonishment. Your Highness, how is this possible? The Empress personally arranges the star duels between the star masters. They would only stand on the Empress side. But these 9th star duels are already abnormal. Even we were able to descend the mountain. Perhaps things will be different from what you think. Fong Mojia's tone was gentle. Even if we exterminated all the Star Masters here, in Star World, we would still fall into an impasse with the Empress. This Highness is already a bit tired. The Fong Mojia who loved to sleep somewhat exhibited a weary tone for the first time. This startled the four generals. Your Highness, pardon my rudeness. Liangshan Continent Star Masters are all short-sighted people. They are unworthy of your belief, let alone that their strength is unworthy of any of your trust. Leader of the four generals, Shi Xian, spoke. The others agreed. Is that so? Then we shall wait and see for the time being. Perhaps there will be a great difference in the result. Fong Mojia did not press the issue. Fong Mojia walked over to a waterfall in the bamboo grove, her beautiful feet bare as she gazed into the horizon. Shi Xian walked over. Are you asking what I saw in my dream? Fong Mojia did not let her initiate with her question. Yes. Why would your Highness suddenly trust those people of Liangshan Continent? Your Highness must know that they are merely puppets that the Empress has sought out. Even these star generals are merely true spirit puppets. Their destinies have long been controlled by the Empress' hand. Why does your Highness believe in them? Shi Xian narrowed her eyes, unconvinced. Song Jiang's mandate of heaven has been awakened. The Major has emerged into this world. Can it be these do not signify a change in these star duels? The Major? Another of the Purple Thunder Monster's titles. Your Highness, you went to see that man. Although Shi Xian had already thought of this, she was a bit in disbelief. Fong Mojia did not answer. How can you believe in someone as ungrateful as a man? Your Highness, you must not be deceived by his silver tongue. Feeling these words were somewhat unbecoming, Shi Xian lowered her head. Shi Xian. This Highness is deeply aware. But, too tired, Fong Mojia propped up her chin with her hands, her blue eyes calm as a dry well, like a placid lake. This Highness is somewhat weary of the lack of change. The Empress has been led astray by the four ministers. Perhaps a man with a silver tongue is precisely what is needed to go clear her vision. Saying this, Fong Mojia could not help but smile, as if she was imagining that to be a very interesting scene. With that man's responsible nature, this would indeed be very wonderful. She truly was a bit eager to see this. If your Highness feels weary, then please leave everything to this subordinate. Shi Xian's expression was grim. She suddenly knelt on the ground, a blade sticking into the ground with its bloody edge. The woman's expression was solemn, but please, your Highness, dismiss these notions. That man is not worthy of your expectations. Can it be that your Highness is disappointed with this subordinate? If that is the case, please grant Shi Xian death. Fong Mojia sighed. You have accompanied me for tens of thousands of years. How can Mojia not understand your intentions? Fine, this Highness speaks of this no further. It would be better for us to see just what virtue and capabilities he has. We shall discuss more in the future. Shi Xian nodded, her eyes slightly narrowing. No one could tell what she was thinking of. But Fong Mojia noticed Shi Xian's tightly clenched fists. That kind of killing intent was clear. If he can defeat you, then he ought to be able to persuade you. While she thought this, her heart was very conflicted. Liked it? Su Xing tenderly wiped the sweat from Ansuwen's forehead. The girl's cheeks were crimson, her appearance gentle. Little sister, you've worked hard. Ansuwen wore an empathetic smile. She shook her head, the light around her hands gradually receding. The child and mother linked heart's needle's light circulated out of Su Xing's body and returned to the efficacious star's palm. The Su Xing currently cut a very sorry figure that required Ansuwen to expend her power to heal him was all thanks to Li Shishir. Earth Rank Dance. Foam soars the skies, foresees Si Kuang. It could even be called breathtaking. That beautiful phoenix that flew beyond the topmost clouds made Su Xing nearly believe he would be taken out of this world. Recalling it now, he still had lingering trepidation. If it was not for Lin Yingmei's strong innate skill and self-improvement of martial arts, he honestly may have died to this dance. In the end, Su Xing used a 5 elements flying sword array for the first time, 5 elements sword array reverses yin and yang, to finally barely get through this. However, the price was not small. For the sake of having leftover energy to listen to Li Shishir speak of the Star Duel's secrets, and Suwen spared no effort in healing him. "Big brother, you must ask clearly why we Star Duel." And Suwen softly commanded. Su Xing's gaze drifted to Li Shishir. The graceful and gorgeous woman's figure was already fading, an indication she was about to return to Star World. And the cost of using a heaven rank once was severe. The next time they met would probably be after several months. After several months. Everything would already have been over then. Su Xing pondered and walked over to Li Shishir. Lakeside. Cool breeze. Willows. A fascinating scene. Su Xing and Li Shishir slowly walked to the lakeside. Perhaps the splendid star-flying general liked to be bright, or perhaps she was solitary as Chai Ling suggested. In short, Su Xing wanted to know of Star World's secrets, and she did not want people other than him around, not even Lin Yingmei and the others. "Shouldn't you tell me now just what the relationship between Star World and the Star Duels is?" Su Xing calmly inquired. Li Shishir stifled a smile. "Can it be that Mr. does not like a stroll with Shishir?" Su Xing helplessly said, "Big sis, you're about to go back to Star World. Can you please stop with the playfulness? Please tell me about Star World and the Star Duels first. Then, once I climb the peak, you can teach me however you want, okay?" Li Shishir covered her cherry lips, thinly smiling. To be honest, to take a stroll with a beauty that truly could ruin a country was indeed a very delightful matter. Every movement and gesture of the splendid star was full of femininity and that sort of entirely innate gentle sense of beauty. Just from her classical and graceful temperament was what Su Xing liked the most, but the Star Duels were nearing their end. Currently, Su Xing was worrying about the ins and outs of the Star Duels. How could he even have the frame of mind to bother about delight? Li Shishir slowed her elegant steps, her voice like a running brook, speaking steadily. "Heaven has 9 layers, there are 3,000 worlds. Amongst these 3,000 worlds, the sky of one world is full of trillions of stars, whether it be daylight or nighttime, as if enshrouded in the Milky Way. Legend says, these stars are the destinations of repute for the 3,000 worlds and 9 heavens." Destinations of repute? Su Xing felt this phrasing was relatively fresh, so he listened with rapt attention. The splendid star continued, "The masters of these destinations can be homogeneous or quite varied from place to place. Some are brilliant in military service, some brimming with talent, some full of evil, and others the founders of immortal undertakings. Their reputations have been passed down. When this world gives birth to a girl, she can inherit this renown and even further develop it." Su Xing seemed to have a vague sense of scratching the surface, but there was something he did not understand. "They have to be girls. They can't be boys. Hearing you speak of those reputes, shouldn't they be heroes and the like? They ought to be men. Only we women have the qualifications to produce these reputes." Li Shishir cutely looked at Su Xing. "Why? Men and women are equal." Su Xing protested. "Women can bear offspring. Can a man?" Li Shishir's words left Su Xing speechless. This was actually not very equal. "So, wouldn't this be the reason for the feminization, right?" Su Xing powerlessly said. Feminization? Li Shishir did not understand this vocabulary. "Meaning that star generals are girls," Su Xing said. "So as to not allow all reputes in the 3,000 worlds to continue existing, those who inherit these stars are indeed called star maidens. Su Xing could tell from Li Shusher's proud and arrogant manner that the men in Star World apparently held very little status. However, this is only a legend in Star World. Whether it is true or not, no one knows. You're not making this up, right? And what does this have to do with the star duels? Su Xing saw that Li Shusher's figure was increasingly fading, and he grew a bit anxious. The story is quite long. Li Shusher played with a lock of her black hair beside her ear. She extended a hand and plucked a willow branch. Zhang Yuqi was currently swimming the backstroke in the lake, just like a snow-white mermaid. She gracefully drifted from wave to wave in the lake. Although she was absent-minded, her gaze nevertheless drifted to Su Xing from time to time. Our young Su really can flirt. Even a woman who has descended from Star World has personally come to his door. The damaged star's words made all of the girls very speechless. Little sis Yuqi, didn't you come to his door? Zhang Feiyu ruthlessly reminded her. Who let me see young Su and little sister Shi Yuan's nice show, so I could only devote myself to him. Hey, don't involve this young lady. Shi Yuan objected. While that side was in a hubbub, Lin Yingmei, Wuxia, Wu Xinjie, and the other girls were very grim. Your concubine sees that this Li Shusher seems to have advised that empress. Wuxia stared at that wandering figure, her brows slightly wrinkled. Just what is with Star World, to surprisingly send young lord an advisor? Wu Xinjie ruminated. Is young master in danger? Lin Yingmei did not dare be careless. We can be relieved about this. Li Shusher is Little Yi's heaven rank incarnation. In other words, Little Yi also knows. Wu Xinjie shook her head. Just what are the secrets of these star duels? Hun Yangzi's pupils were filled with hazy worry. She had no desire for her dear husband to be roped into star duels issues. The girls smiled. Right, did Shaking not comprehend the mystery of the star duels through Buddhism? What did you discover? Hua Wanyu pondered. The Lu Shaking, who was like a stone Buddha, faced the curious gazes of the sisters and shook her head. She was on the verge of breakthrough but did not understand in the end. Now I realize I am what I am, Gongsun Huang softly uttered. Sounds a bit ominous. Zhao Hanyan thought over the meaning of this verse. This time, there was silence. Having gone through endless blabbering, Li Shusher finally spoke about the crux of the star duels. At the very beginning, Star World did not have many star generals at all. Legend says there were only 108 heavenly spirits and earthly fiends. Star World calls this the origin of star generals, and they were split into 3 ranks including earthly fiend and heavenly spirit. And the leader of these 108 stars is also a leader fully worthy of all of Star World's star generals. Legend says that the leader star has a destined star weapon, Justice on Heaven's Behalf Uprising Star's banner, that is capable of compelling a Star World star general into obedience. What rank is higher than the heavenly spirits and earthly fiends? Su Xing asked in surprise. The Emperor Stars. The legendary star of the Son of Heaven. Only a star general that can surpass the star name they inherited can possibly reach this realm. Across the entire Star World, star generals that are Emperor Star are as rare as phoenix feathers. This is also why the Empress commenced the star duels. Because the Empress has an enemy that others respectfully refer to as, no matter the time, any place is home, Her Highness Fang La. She happens to be among Star World's Emperor star generals that can be counted on fingers. No matter the time, any place is home, Fang Mojia. Su Xing took a deep breath. He recalled that girl with dark blue eyes. Li Shusher did not know that Su Xing had seen Fang Mojia at all. She said, she is one of the few people in Star World who reached Emperor Star Realm. We named her the Purple Slumber Star, Dream in a Millennium. She has existed in Star World already for tens of thousands of years. She is but the oldest star general. However, most of the time, she likes to sleep. This is why she is able to live for so long. Li Shishir covered her smile. She was like one of those long-lived sea turtles. Dream in a millennium, Fang Mojia. Doesn't she sound really friendly? Su Xing was hesitant. This girl is not very clear about Her Highness Mojia. But the troops under her believe that the Fang Mojia that possesses the star of the Son of Heaven should inherit the great song, even rule all of Star World. For this reason, she has waged war with the great song for several thousand years. She has one subordinate named Shixian, nicknamed the Smiling Killing Immortal, who wields the Phoenix Splitter Saber, Star World's most terrifying destined weapon. This saber is said to be able to subdue and restrain true Phoenix Realm martial generals. True Phoenix Realm star generals are no match for her. So for the sake of confronting this smiling killing immortal and dream in a millennium, we should think of borrowing Song Jiang's star weapon. Precisely. But it can't be summoned directly. Why arrange the star duels? Su Xing still did not understand. This girl hears that Mr. wants to end the star duels. Then this girl shall tell Mr. how to end the star duels, Li Shishir softly said, profoundly staring at Su Xing. So long as Song Jiang scales Maiden Mountain, the star duels will naturally end. But to make Song Jiang's destined star weapon manifest will require another method entirely. What method? Mutual slaughter. Su Xing was unashamed. Even this girl does not dare go ask Her Majesty about this mystery. However, it is possible that this is the case. Li Shishir spoke then stopped. Clearly, she was hiding something. She stopped walking and cast a sidelong glance. This girl hears that you had some special sensations when you make love to your wives. How do you know? Su Xing's eyes widened. I am Little Yi's incarnation. Everything she knows, Shishir naturally knows as well. Li Shishir matter-of-factly replied. I also wanted to ask you, what is the reason for that illusory feeling? Su Xing remembered the dream of golden millet line from Jiang Shushui, his heart somewhat anxious. The reason is very simple. With Mr.'s mind, there is no way you have not thought of it before. Li Shishir was about to reply when she suddenly wrinkled her brow. This girl should leave now. If you want to end the star duels, you must protect Song Jiang's ascent up the mountain. Otherwise, even if you climb Maiden Mountain, you will be the same as the others. You will only become a puppet of the Empress. Only leader Star Song Jiang can help you. Otherwise, your wish to end the star duels, your wish to help those wives of yours, is nothing but a dream of golden millet. Before she could finish, a resplendent light like a phoenix began to morph splendid Star Li Shishir. In a split second, she had already become Little Yi. The maid was completely powerless. Su Xing stepped forward and gently caught Yanizhan. Master, Yanizhan's crimson, apathetic pupils could not stay open for long, leaking much regret. Su Xing kissed her forehead, tenderly saying, Rest well, this time, you should let me service you. Yanizhan's cheeks flushed, as if she was drunk, as if red clouds were flying across her face. She grunted and shut her eyes. She slept against Su Xing's chest with an unprecedented feeling of satisfaction. Liked it? Protect Song Qingxi's ascent up the mountain. Lin Yingmei, Wu Xinjie and the others could not help but be taken aback when they heard Su Xing's words. To end the star duels, they would have to fulfill leader star Song Qingxi's ascent. Although they had considered that the leader star who was the head of Maiden Mountain's 108 star maidens played a critical role, to hear the words Li Shishir brought still made everyone wrinkle their brows. Song Qingxi's contract was the uprising. To have her scale the peak, that very clearly indicated star masters who held other contracts would inevitably be unable to climb the mountain together. Does this not mean she would have Su Xing throw away his life to help that bitch achieve her wish? Zhao Hanyan pursed her lips into a disdainful sneer. Sir will not heed Li Shishir's words. She you said. Gong Kaiwei also stared at Su Xing. Su Xing head ached as he rubbed his forehead. Ending the star duels was the greatest wish he had after joining the star duels, but hearing Li Shusher's words truly made things difficult for him. If this was Earth, a soldier had one order they had absolute obedience for. They would not hesitate to sacrifice their own lives if it meant finishing the mission, but Su Xing looked at Lin Yingmei and the rest. Sacrificing himself signified the same for Lin Yingmei and the others. "Milord, why pay mind to the splendid star's words? In the end, she is merely a lackey of Maiden Mountain's empress. Everything she does is only in service to that empress." "Humph, what does she mean to say that it is necessary to have Song Qingxi climb the mountain? I will not believe these words." Hua Wanyue played with a lock of hair beside her ear, voicing her dissent. "What Wanyue says is right. To end the star duels, we can only rely on ourselves. The leader star is not worthy of our trust." Wu Xiao agreed. The girls talked over each other, disdaining Li Shusher's words. They could also see Su Xing's conflict, though they had to admit his conflicted appearance was a bit cute. In the end, everyone turned their gazes to Lin Yingmei, Su Xing's first wife. Among everyone, her opinion was evidently the most important. Young master's safety is more important than ending the star duels, Lin Yingmei emphatically said. Everyone was stunned. Immediately, they were unable to help but smile. Su Xing knowingly smiled, "In my mind, your safety will always be first. Perhaps leader star Song Qingxi really is the critical link in the star duels, but maybe we can get the best of both worlds." Spotting that crafty glint in Su Xing's eyes, Ling Yan Princess Zhao Hanyan felt she should offer a prayer for that Song Qingxi. "For the time being, let us set aside this issue. Sisters, we must first discuss with young lord the final star duel." Knowledge star Wu Xinjie stood out. "The final star duel? Do not forget, there is still another alliance besides Song Qingxi." Wu Xinjie pursed her lips. Chai Ling stroked Xing'er, ruminating, this was within calculations. The other star masters would form an alliance to face Xing'er. They will choose a place with topography that is optimal for obstructing him, and this place will be the nearest to Maiden Mountain. It will also be the only road there, vast terrain with nowhere to hide, one that can bring out their greatest advantage. That's right. Elder sister ought to know, right? And Suan softly asked. Wu Xinjie nodded. She snapped her fingers, and a map flew out. Knowledge Star pointed to a point and asserted. Barring accidents, Xinjie believes this will be the place they choose for the final star duel. Everyone looked at that place. Continuous like a dragon, coiling around Maiden Mountain. This place was one of Maiden Mountain's ancient battlegrounds. Leading right to Maiden Mountain's throat. This place was known as the Yu Plains. The Yu Plains. Monster Slaying Alliance. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, Yen Wudao, and all the other Star Masters were currently discussing the place for their final expedition against the Purple Thunder monster. Hearing scholar in a white robe Wang Lengji's words, they could not help but be shocked. The Yu Plains. It was no more than 100 li from Maiden Mountain. To supervoid stage Star Masters like themselves, even 100 kilometers was not worth a mention, and it looked like this place was very unremarkable. The Yu Plains. Although this place is the only road to Maiden Mountain, we still have better options. Yen Wuao was the first to disagree with this decision. Others also disagreed. There was a saying, 800 li Maiden Mountain Lake. The vicinity of Maiden Mountain had many unique terrains. These terrains held all sorts of influences on star duels. For example, the Waiting Watch was enshrouded in moonlight and was able to maximize a cultivator's increase in cultivation, or Lure Swamp, nicknamed the Coalesced Dragon Pools. Its waters were the ideal place for a water general. There were also Silkworm Apricot, Heavenly Ridge, Earthly Sincerity, and others places that all held important influence over a star duel. But this Yu Plains was a stretch of desert. It completely lacked any helpfulness towards a star master at all. This Holy Lord feels we should choose Lure Swamp. With Xiangfei standing guard, even Panther-head Lin Chong will die. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked fully confidently at River Dragon Li Xiangfei. Would waiting watch not be even better? This place can increase a cultivator's cultivation. Isn't the greatest advantage we have over the Purple Thunder Monster our Star Masters? Although Lin Chong and Wu Song are formidable, without the Purple Thunder Monster, they are merely toothless tigers, not worth a mention. Xie Chang'an smiled. Although the other Star Masters, like Yen Wudao, Su Xingxiang, Gong Song, Xian Lao, Yi Futu, Xie Zhenyuan and more were silent, their expression were endorsing the choices of others. That the Purple Thunder Monster had several of the great thousand-year martial generals already was very defiant of the natural order. They would necessarily have to maximize their own advantages to have a chance at winning. Wang Lingji drank tea. She faced everyone instead with great calmness. The greatest benefit of the Yu Plains is that it can draw out a star general's fighting blood, allow them to wield heaven rank. It turns out none of you knew. What? It can stimulate a heaven rank? Is this true? Humi was stunned. The other insipid star generals took great interest one after another after hearing Wang Lingji's words. In your past few months of training, how many of you have comprehended heaven rank? Wang Lingji smiled and asked. Everyone looked at each other in dismay. Among them, Li Xiangfei, Huyen Shuang, Su Jingshu and others had former volume heavenly books, but comprehending heaven rank was still very difficult. Of course, others outside of them still tried as well. The Yu Plains are a battleground that can stimulate your heaven ranks. I presume I need not say more about heaven rank techniques. Compared to others, possessing this is the main point. Wang Lingji said. Furthermore, these grounds can also promote a star general's realm. But such a thing also applies to the Purple Thunder Monster as well, correct? Yen Wudao wrinkled his brow. Featherless Arrow Zhang Biluo agreed, exactly, exactly. Perhaps there is some other mystery. Humi surmised. Wang Lingji gave her an approving glance, correct. In order to display these effects, you must first consume something. That is blood of dark yellow. Blood of dark yellow. Everyone was confused. They had never heard of such a thing. Only the Yu Plains have this. I can help you obtain them. Alright, choose now amongst yourselves, shall it be the Yu Plains or some other place? There will be only one opportunity in this final star duel. This Luan does not care if you choose wrong and lose your lives. Wang Lingji slowly drank tea. Let alone that everyone present were the ninth's proudest star masters, they still felt somewhat unsure facing off against that abnormal Purple Thunder Monster. Scholar in a white robe Wang Lingji's identity was exceptional. Everyone was willing to believe in her, and she sounded apparently well. Should the Purple Thunder Monster be unaware of this secret, then that will be a very great advantage to us. Xie Zhenyuan said insipidly. But when he spoke, Xie Zhenyuan looked at the woman, hoping that she could give him a confident reply. I dare say that the Knowledge Star will most definitely choose the Yu Plains because this place is the most suitable for an encirclement, but she absolutely will not be aware of the existence of the dark yellow blood. Wang Lingji slightly smiled. Before their skepticism, the woman's tone of voice gave no room for doubt, because only I, Wang Luan, am capable of obtaining the dark yellow blood. When everyone heard her say this, they could only immediately agree. In truth, they could not think of a rationale to refute her. After all, for these past months of training, Wang Lingji indeed gave them significant aid. Their martial generals' skills had improved by leaps and bounds, and many of them were reaching true Phoenix realm. After deciding the location, they arranged the time. Everyone began to set forth for Maiden Mountain. Because they surprisingly obtained such a significant advantage, everyone trained with even more effort than before, especially the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, whose heart was delighted when he felt he seemed to already see Su Xing's expression of despair. But not everyone was like this. Hu Mi stood atop a hill, arranging a divination array. The purple firmament immortal palace had astrological arts. Although they were not able to pry into heavenly mysteries, they at least could give a vague premonition. This time, Hu Mi obtained a very ill feeling of foreboding. She turned her head back to see that they were already nearing the front of Maiden Mountain, and her heart was somewhat uneasy. Little me. This star duel apparently will not be so simple. Facing Su Jingshu's worried gaze, Hu Mi shook her head. Su Xing's true enemy does not seem to be us. Not us? Then who else? Maiden Mountain? Su Jingshu asked. Hu Mi was not clear on this. The indistinct sound of footsteps intruded. Hu Mi waved her hand, and the formation on the ground returned to her bag. A charming woman in black and red appeared. Elder sister Hu Mi, just now, were you divining the star duel? The newcomer was none other than Su Xingxiang. Regarding this girl who was charming down to her very bones, Hu Mi did not dare be careless. In fact, not long before, the Su Xingxiang whose aptitude had been unremarkable already reached supervoid middle stage / her star general demon face was also quite exceptional. If I could divine it, what need have I to join this alliance? Hu Mi smiled and retorted. Su Xingxiang smiled back. She lowered her head to look at the battle down the mountain and softly said, actually, elder sister is like Xingxiang, we have reckoned wrongly in these star duels, haven't we? And, Su Xingxiang said, though we may have Wang Luan's aid as well as the fortune of the Yu Plains, only you and I are acutely aware that not only does the Purple Thunder monster have first-rate martial generals the likes of Lin Chong, Wu Song, and Lu Junyi, he also has top-notch star masters like Zhao Hanyan, Gong Kaiwei, and Shiyu accompanying him. They serve him as his wives. On the other hand, our alliance is merely a sheet of loose sand. Every person has their own secret agenda. Judging by Su Xingxiang's words, why not join the Purple Thunder monster's side then? Hu Mi asked back. Su Xingxiang forced a smile. Those women able to follow the Purple Thunder monster's side are all his confidants. I have that 10,000 souls parasol. In his mind, I am perhaps an irredeemable villain. Elder sister, is it not precisely because you have misgivings about Su Xing's lady friends that you stood on our side? Su Xingxiang saw through Hu Mi's hesitance at a glance. Indeed, to be honest, Hu Mi and Su Xing had contact before. She was even able to enter the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. To speak of favorability, Su Xing had much more compared to her current allies. But those who stood with Su Xing were all entirely without exception his closest friends. Fox of voracious admiration, Hu Mi was also a very prideful person. Naturally, she was unwilling to bow down. And in her heart, there was also another urge, which was to compare her level against Su Xing's wives. However, she had never once thought of themselves as enemies. In fact, Hu Mi felt that to climb the mountain together with him would definitely be a very wonderful scene. But now that things have reached this stage, there was already no room to turn back. In truth, Xingxiang also feels that the Purple Thunder monster's wish to end the star duels is very attractive. Xingxiang wants to follow him, too, but it is a pity that Xingxiang met that good-for-nothing first before ever making his acquaintance. What use is there in speaking these words now? Even if he climbs the mountain, there is only one opening for the Overlord. Hu Mi was unmoved. Elder sister is wrong. According to the Purple Thunder monster's words, we will not be fighting to be Overlord once we climb the mountain. Rather, we will be facing the enemy who created the star duels, right? Su Xingxiang slightly smiled. Su Xingxiang, just what do you want to say? Hu Mi furrowed her brow. What little sister wants to say is, there is no need for us to fight the Purple Thunder monster to the death. There is another way to turn foe into friend, to allow us to become his arms. Ending the star duels, is this not the wish of our star generals? Su Xingxiang's words immediately became indistinct. Liked it? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon opened his eyes from self-cultivation. The young girl beside him dressed in black armor, Demon King of Chaos Fan Ming, eyed him nervously. Master, what is the matter? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon smiled and nodded. Black chi hovered all around his body, extremely reserved. All thanks to your demonic comprehension innate skill, Minger, the prehistoric heavenly demon body has finally advanced. In the future against the Purple Thunder monster, this Holy Lord stands a better chance. Holy Lord, do not underestimate him. Li Xiangfei shook her head. To the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon that had already suffered several defeats, this was considered understanding through experience. Where is Su Xingxiang? She has spent the past several days sneaking around discussing something with other Star Masters. Fan Ming's expression was one of disdain. This Holy Lord should have killed this bitch back then. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's eyes were full of coldness. As the Grand Number 1 Star Master of the Black Turtle Territory, a woman had nevertheless been overtaken by a woman. That idiot old monster Dark Rebirth must have given this slut many favors. Li Xiangfei sighed almost inaudibly, unclear as to whether this was disappointment or some other reason. As if she was waiting for this moment, Su Xingxiang daintily walked over from Yan Wudao. Upon seeing the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, she put on a charming smile. Congratulations, Lord Husband. Presumably, the prehistoric heavenly demon body has already advanced. Ha, wife Xingxiang is truly modest. This Holy Lord has heard you have gotten along well with other Star Masters these past few days. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon switched to an insincere smile. Su Xingxiang covered her lips, smiling and saying, many thanks to Lord Husband. The Star Duel's decisive battle is at hand. Xingxiang merely discussed escape routes with them, nothing more. Escape routes? Not only the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, even Li Xiangfei and Fan Ming showed puzzled expression. Xingxiang was merely thinking that since the Purple Thunder monster has used the pretext of ending the Star Duels to secure Lin Chong and those other first-rate Star Generals, perhaps we can ally with him and climb the mountain together. However, there would be prerequisites. It is easy to say we can kill that Su Xing in the final Star Duel. But if we are defeated, he may spare our lives out of consideration for the Star General's sisters. Presumably, he is enemies with Maiden Mountain. Maybe we can lend him a hand. Su Xingxiang, are you insane? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked at this woman in astonishment. She was surprisingly thinking of having the Purple Thunder monster show them mercy. Let alone this standpoint, the Purple Thunder monster would never let them go for a wish as trifling as ending the Star Duels. Lord Husband, do not be angry. This is only Xingxiang's wishful thinking. When the time comes, we must still see what Su Xing thinks. Su Xingxiang said. Su Xing this, Su Xing that. That man's name sounds so smooth coming from your lips. You would not happen to be having cold feet and thinking of betraying us, would you? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon stared fixedly at her. Lord Husband is being too cautious. In short, bringing such an idea up does not harm us at all, is that not the case? Su Xingxiang said. What she says makes some sense. Li Xiangfei muttered. Although this appeared beyond preposterous, with Lin Chong and Wusong's imposing personalities, perhaps they actually were ending the Star Duels and were willing to make allies to climb the mountain together. The Seven Stars Assembly has only 7 openings. They truly would have no use for Star Duels. Fan Ming scoffed. What do the others think? Li Xiangfei asked. Yan Wudao and the others do not trust the Purple Thunder monster either, but that will not stop them from using him to curb the righteousness of the Panther Head and company. Su Xingxiang said. Lord Husband, your thoughts? Su Xingxiang softly asked. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon really wanted to rage at the heavens, dash the mountains, scream the disdainful words, Su Xing must die. But when these words were on the tip of his tongue, in the end, he found that he did not even have the breath for this. Damn it. If that purple thunder monster manages to climb the mountain, he would definitely ally with Maiden Mountain. As he thought of this, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon snorted. A cold glint flashed across his eyes, keeping silent. A small smile flit across Su Xingxiang's lips. Time flit by as they trained, instantly passing. Several months' time elapsed in the blink of an eye. Under the call of the star duels, Su Xing, Gong Kaiwei, Zhao Hanyan, Xiyu, and the others already entered the range of Maiden Mountain's legendary 8-million-li Maiden Mountain Lake. They passed from the ink earth stuck in eternal night to the waiting watch filled with moonlight. They crossed various obstacles in the marsh. Wherever Su Xing passed, so too did Purple Cloud East approaches, like an immortal arriving. Along the way, both commoners and cultivators alike stared dumbstruck. The 8-million-li Maiden Mountain Lake appeared seemed very large. To cross it would take several dozen days' time. On this night, Su Xing had already crossed the coalesced dragon pools. They stopped when the distance to the U Plains was half a day. Tonight, let's rest here. Su Xing saw that the environment of this coalesced dragon pool was of limitless beauty, clear moonlight, dark blue waters. Innumerable fireflies fluttered over the surface of the lake, appearing quite idyllic. Things really turned out as Xinjie anticipated. It appears those star masters are truly preparing to fight a decisive battle at the U Plains. Zhao Hanyan brushed her sleeve. The coalesced dragon pools were the last bodies of water in the vicinity of Maiden Mountain. If River Dragon Li Xiangfei was present, she would have the qualifications to battle Lin Yingmei, but things appeared very tranquil. It appeared that the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had also abandoned this advantageous terrain. We cannot be careless. Gong Kaiwei said. Zhu Sha knew intuitively her intent. She summoned the 5 elements weather banner. Young Su, me and Big Sis will go take a look around for now. Zhang Yuqi smiled and said. Be careful. Su Xing ordered. Zhang Yuqi winked. She brought White Wave and Dove into the lake. Boatman Zhang Feiyu also spurred her burning whale to submerge beneath the water. To a water general, they were still the most free in the water. Speaking of Xinjie, why does she feel they will fight the decisive battle at the U Plains? Zhao Hanyan asked. This place is the closest to Maiden Mountain. Its terrain is wide open, and reportedly, it is an ancient battlefield. Perhaps there is no other place better suited than this. Is that so? Zhao Hanyan nodded. Su Xing said, Xinjie, tell Yingmei, Xiao, and the others in a moment. There will be no more sparring tonight. Conserve their strength and rest properly to meet tomorrow's final star duel. Young lord, do you not want a big party with no coverings tonight? This is but the last chance before climbing the mountain. Wu Xinjie giggled. Sure, this princess has no issue. It may be assumed that darling will be very happy. Kaiwei, join in, would you? Zhao Hanyan teased Gong Kaiwei. The woman in clothes whiter than snow wrinkled her brow. She turned and left. The immortal hero princess is angry. Prince consort, you must quickly take her into your harem. After we ascend the mountain, there will not be such a good chance. Dong Junqing fanned the flames. Rest well tonight, everyone. Save your strength. Su Xing said. Seeing Su Xing so deadpan, Dong Junqing quite insipidly twitched her lips. That mob is completely not worth worrying over. I'm not worried about this. Su Xing shook his head. Maiden Mountain. Zhao Hanyan discerned his preoccupation. Chao Gai made Banzwang train my martial arts, and she allowed me to enter the dark yellow pagoda to break through to transforming star of annihilation realm. That she did this must mean there is a very powerful enemy. Otherwise, she wouldn't go through all this trouble. Su Xing spoke of past events. The closer they drew to Maiden Mountain Center, the more uneasy he became. The true face of the heaven-supporting pillar was already before his eyes. Looking from this place, the magnificence he saw would only make a person feel minuscule to the point they felt powerless. Su Xing's heart had never been so anxious. Zhao Hanyan held Su Xing's hand, gazing at him with eyes full of love. Sensing her intentions, Su Xing slowly calmed down. Just at this moment, there was suddenly a kind of sublime song came over. This sound was pleasant to listen to, but before he could ponder upon it, an enormous explosion broke it off. Then, a water dragon soared into the sky, followed by a heavenly sword of water descending from the sky. The sword pierced through the water dragon, and the powerful destructive force directly split apart the tranquil waters of the coalesced dragon pools. The fishes in the lake hopped out one after another. That's Yuqi's heavenly sword. Su Xing was astonished. Is that blowjob girl stirring up trouble? This general shall go take a look. Dong Junqing activated her true phoenix realm without another word, rushing over in that direction. Ingmei, Xiao, you two stand guard here. Watch for surprise attacks. Su Xing turned back to remind the alarmed girls. Nyangzi, Han Yan, and I will go look first. Young master, be careful. Lin Yingmei urged. You girls, too. Su Xing hinted to Hu Nyangzi. Thereupon, they used an escape technique with bright star 10 feet of blue following close behind. That seemed to be River Dragon Li Xiangfei's technique just now. As expected, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon is not so willing to let go of these advantageous grounds to conduct a sneak attack. Along the way, Zhao Hanyan spoke. He is courting death. Su Xing sneered. But things were not exactly as Su Xing had thought. The Crystal Dragon Palace's legendary 7th princess. This Holy Lord truly did not expect to meet you here. Right at this moment, a corner of the coalesced dragon pools. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was full of excitement as he looked down on a young woman. It has been too long since he last tasted this feeling of towering above others. As Su Xing expected, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon indeed did not let go of the maritime terrain of the coalesced dragon pools. If the top-notch water general Li Xiangfei could fight upon the coalesced dragon pools, there was no doubt she would be like a tiger that grew wings. However, he was also very aware that facing Su Xing was the sleep talk of trash. Still, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon nevertheless wanted to see if he could first sneak attack a few of Su Xing's isolated star generals at the coalesced dragon pools, to first kill a few. However, before Su Xing could arrive, he surprisingly bumped into another Star Master. This was Long Nu. Long Nu did not attend the monster-slaying conference at all. In the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's eyes, this was tantamount to standing on Su Xing's side. Upon spotting her surprisingly rushing towards Maiden Mountain alone, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon would not let go of such a heaven-sent opportunity. Without another word, he had Li Xiangfei and Fan Ming launch an attack. The results of the battle were obvious. Although Guardian of 3 Mountains Huang Mengrui was one of the earthly star's 4 heavenly kinds, her opponent was nevertheless Li Xiangfei upon a naval battlefield. Huang Mengrui staked everything to use her earth rank, 3 Mountains Broken Seal sword array, and finally even charging her heaven rank, Luotian Mountain and Lake Singing, but she was too late to activate it when Li Xiangfei's earth rank, Fury of the Ocean, heavily injured her. Upon the water, you have no choice but to give up here. Li Xiangfei said in a low voice. Long Nu panted. Fan Ming's attack made her unbearably exhausted, and her whole body was covered in cuts and bruises. Only by relying on her last piece of willpower did she not fall over. She was very aware of the bad end that would result if she fell. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon chuckled. What, did that purple thunder monster get bored of playing with you and toss you away? Truly pitiful. Holy Lord, do not waste your breath. Kill her first. Fan Ming raised her devil claws. Kill her then. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon nodded, his expression suddenly cold beyond comparison. The 9 phantasms 10 Bane's capital demon swords manifested demonic clouds. Li Xiangfei stirred her white dragon sword, churning the coalesced dragon pool. The lake water rumbled, mercilessly battering Huang Mengrui and Long Nu. Fan Ming's devil chi approached, prepared to strike the finishing blow. "Forgive me, Mengrui." Long Nu expressed her regret. Because she was selfish, she did not form an alliance with anyone, leading to this situation. Not at all. To have had Long Nu as Mengrui's master was truly fortunate. Huang Mengrui smiled, gripping her sword. She cast a glance back at her. Those eyes as clear as water were filled with distress, but Mengrui was unable to protect you. Her long hair flapping, the girl shouted and charged. The devil claws scratched. Flying waterfall dragon cry swords swept out, their sword lights like water, piercing through the devil chi. Fan Ming was astonished, not expecting that her martial arts would surprisingly still be at such a level despite her heavy injuries. Several cuts immediately appeared on her own body. A deathbed struggle. Demon King of Chaos flung Huang Mengrui onto the ground. Just as the Demon King of Chaos was about to end her life, all of a sudden, an enormous sword of water fell from the heavens. "Look out!" Li Xiangfei raised her white dragon sword, blocking the heavenly sword. "This is," Huang Mengrui looked. A white python like a lion leapt before them. Then, a beauty emerged from the water like a mermaid, her snow-white skin in the night more beautiful than moonlight. Damaged star Zhang Yuqi, Huang Mengrui's heart was suddenly flooded with an indescribable tranquility. Finally, she glanced at Long Nu and subsequently fell into the star nest. Liked it? White silk 10,000 ren breaks blue nether. Li Xiangfei's hands spread out, and the white night dragon carving sword stopped. The entire coalesced dragon pools immediately roared. Countless water dragons soared into the sky, innumerable, stretching as far as the eye could see. Under the moonlight, each water dragon glinted with a crystalline luster. 10,000 water dragons arose together, shaking the entire night. Even though she came from the Crystal Dragon Palace, the Long Nu who had beheld countless wonders in the water was stunned upon seeing this scene. If this heaven rank had been used in the Crystal Dragon Palace, even the connecting heaven ocean settling pearls barrier would have been unable to protect the Dragon Palace. So impressive. Zhao Hanyan inhaled sharply. Truly worthy of a first-rate heaven rank used upon the water. No wonder Li Xiangfei dared to declare she would destroy everything just now. She truly was serious. Prince Consort, do not goof off too badly. Dong Junqin muttered. She immediately escorted Zhao Hanyan and the others far away to avoid being caught up. Li Xiangfei placed all of her mind onto Su Xing. She pointed a jade finger at him. The 10,000 water dragons in the moonlight immediately dove downwards, swooping towards Su Xing like sharp blades. They brandished fang and claw, full of aggression. The Su Xing caught in the center of the water dragons was practically suppressed to the point he could not draw breath. If it was not for his being a transforming star of annihilation, perhaps he honestly would have been unable to resist. Go! Su Xing's divine intent moved. Heaven Tearing, Langya, Frost Powder, Jian Feather, and Time Immemorial drew 5 rainbows. Then, he blossomed the Meditative Mind Lotus Flower and used Purple Cloud East Approaches. The 10,000 water dragons that filled the skies flung themselves towards Su Xing. 5 swordlights twisted, shredding the incoming water dragons. Then came the second water dragon, the third, the fourth, fifth, 100, all the way to the 10,000s. More and more came, finally forming a torrential downpour that struck at Su Xing. The 5 element swordlights continuously disintegrated all incoming attacks under Su Xing's powerful divine intent. The innumerable water dragons exploded in Su Xing's surroundings like rain. The heavenly spirit's earthly fiend's purple star 5 elements flying swords rainbow lights were glittering to the extreme, but Li Xiangfei's heaven rank was already exhausting her strength. Even the most powerful flying swords could not possibly counter her perfectly. Li Xiangfei's eyes were determined, bright as lightning. "Be careful." The feeble Long Nu could not help but call out in concern for Su Xing. The water dragons that were filling the sky soared high, even concealing the heavens. The moonlight dimmed and lost its color. Immediately, they all descended at the same time. An instant later, millions of water dragons attacked Su Xing. The edges of the flying swords were drowned out under these tidal waves. Water dragons collided, and the only thing audible was a heaven-shaking reverberation. All of the coalesced dragon pools trembled. Even villages a million li away could clearly feel this quaking. An ear-splitting noise was about to rupture their eardrums. Even Zhao Hanyan felt very uncomfortable. She and Su Xing shared the 1,000-year contract. Even though she was already very far away from the range of Li Xiangfei's heaven rank, she still felt unable to breathe. "Dear husband." Hunyangzi was just about to kill the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, but upon seeing Li Xiangfei's heaven rank swallow Su Xing, her heart was filled with incomparable worry. Her figure warped. The 7-star double sabers released multicolored lights. Saber chi rolled across the coalesced dragon pools like a storm, shredding the water dragons. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon also urged on the boundless bell with all his power. He attempted to use the boundless bell to break Su Xing's purple cloud east approaches and the 5 elements flying swords abilities. Waves wildly crashed, and knells lingered. A wretched sight was upon the water, spine-chilling. A long while afterwards, the water dragons finally dissipated one after another. The coalesced dragon pools regained their tranquility. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's eyes widened, staring in Su Xing's direction. He waited for the mist to part, which revealed an upright figure that immediately made him sink to the valley floor. Su Xing wiped the blood at the corner of his mouth, blossoming with a wide grin. 50 flying swords hovered above his head. Although the struggle against the heaven rank was very difficult, their lights did not diminish. Purple cloud east approaches was already washed away by the mist, and the meditative mind lotus flower was half wilted. Even so, Su Xing still relied on his immense strength to endure the river dragon's top-notch heaven rank. No way, Li Xiangfei was utterly speechless. She had already used all of her power to wield her heaven rank at its maximum. Even the Devil Star Palace would have been destroyed. But Su Xing's cultivation was excellent. Each of his powers were wondrous to the peak, and with the true Phoenix and 7-star destined weapon Hunyangzi for protection, killing Su Xing was simply impossible. Su Xing took a deep breath. His figure warped. Arriving in front of Li Xiangfei, the white knight dragon carving sword she thrust at him was stopped by the 5 elements flying swords. The noble woman stared at Su Xing like this, not fleeing nor attacking. The two of them stared into each other's eyes. "How regretful," Su Xing said, unclear as to whether he regretting that Li Xiangfei's heaven rank was unable to kill him or if he was regretting that he was unable to meet and sign a contract with her before to turn her into one of his own. "There is nothing to regret," Li Xiangfei calmly replied. Su Xing nodded. He extended a finger and tapped the woman's spotlessly white forehead. Purple clouds entered Li Xiangfei's body through his finger. The river dragon did not resist. She shut her eyes, at peace. "Xiangfei!" The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon screamed. Li Xiangfei groaned, falling into the star nest. "I'm impossible." The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was hysterical, unable to accept the reality in front of him. Li Xiangfei had used her heaven rank upon the water battlefield she was most confident in, yet was surprisingly unable to kill Su Xing. In the end, she was slain by Su Xing. Just what realm had this monster reached? Purple Thunder Monster, tomorrow's star duel will be your doom. This Holy Lord will definitely take revenge for Xiangfei. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon turned and fled. The instant he turned around, a whistling 10,000 li god-killing arrow was fired from the bright moon longevity palace 1,000 li away. The resplendent arrow light shot into the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons' chest. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons screamed, nearly dying. Fortunately for him, his prehistoric heavenly demon body had already reached the peak. Even the true Phoenix realm Hua Wanyue's dark rank was unable to kill him. How could Hun Yangzi let him escape? The girl leapt high into the air, light as faint mist. True Phoenix wings unfurled from the bright star's back. Hun Yangzi caught up to the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon in a split second. The 7-star double sabers descended. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had no way to escape this time. But just at this moment, Su Xingxiang finally rushed over, crying out in panic upon seeing this scene. Lord Husband, use the yin-yang strange qi. Her hands formed a hand seal. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon coordinated, activating his at the same time. A ray of yang qi emerged from the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's cranium. Simultaneously, a ray on yin qi flew out from Su Xingxiang's cranium. These two yin and yang qi twisted in midair and entangled Hun Yangzi. This yin-yang strange qi was a cultivation method a man and woman cultivated together. By exhausting all essence qi to create its form, it would harmonize heaven and earth, yin and yang to form a blade. This was very troublesome to handle. Hun Yangzi's double sabers danced, unable to cut down the combined yin-yang strange qi for the time being. Hua Wanyue again fired several more arrows from the bright moon longevity palace. Similarly, she was unable to break apart the yin-yang strange qi's formation. If it is possible, Xingxiang would very much like to climb Maiden Mountain and end these star duels together with your distinguished self Su Xing. Su Xingxiang slightly smiled. She grabbed the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and departed. In the end, she cast a glance at Su Xing, but it was unclear what she was thinking of. Su Xing followed the woman's departure with his eyes, his brow wrinkling ever so slightly. Young lord, what has happened? Wu Xinjie and the others finally rushed over. They were terribly frightened when they witnessed the spectacle of the 10,000 dragons. She had thought the monster-slaying alliance had launched a sneak attack. I just bumped into Li Xiangfei a moment ago. Su Xing indicated there was no issue. We had better let little sister Suwen examine you. You just faced the river dragon's heaven rank. Zhao Hanyan said with concern. And Suwen stepped forward and checked. Fortunately, his wounds were not very severe, but his meridians were still jolted quite badly. The average person would probably have been fragmented. A pity that we let that Holy Lord of Draconic Demon escape. Dong Junqing was somewhat upset she was unable to intervene just then. Ha ha, he truly is the cockroach that cannot be caught. Zhao Hanyan chuckled. Yuqi feels we should return for now. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon star generals have fallen into the star nest. To recover to peak status is unlikely without half a year's time. A star master without star generals is basically no threat. Young Su actually must return first to properly console the elder sisters. Zhang Yuqi dubiously said. What about her? Zhang Feiyu looked at the forgotten Long Nu, the blazing fish king saber in her hand stirring restlessly. The heaven rank just now was too powerful. Zhao Hanyan had used her flying swords to shield Long Nu, otherwise the girl perhaps would not have made it. Long Nu weakly looked at Su Xing, her eyes very calm. Even if Su Xing was to kill her right now, that would have been logical. She did not have any complaints. The legendary Crystal Dragon Palace's 7th princess has a fine heart, an upstanding character. This really is the case it seems. Su Xing, why not take her into the Longevity Palace as one of your own? Zhao Hanyan asked. Su Xing nodded. He had a relatively favorable impression about Long Nu and was very clear about the girl's personality. Bring her back with us. Somewhere in the marsh, Su Xingxiang stopped. She looked at the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon with an arrow stuck in his heart and wrinkled her brow. She scolded him in a low voice, "Idiot, why are you always so short-sighted, to think of facing him alone?" This defeat was more discouraging than any other time to the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. After all, this was established as a fair star duel, but this defeat was more wretched than any other time. Is this Holy Lord not still alive? Humph, that purple thunder monster does not seem so exceptional. After this Holy Lord recovers, this Holy Lord will definitely return today's humiliation 100-fold. Su Xingxiang's smile was somewhat ice-cold. Su Xingxiang, we must quickly dual cultivate. For tomorrow's star duel, this Holy Lord must have Xiangfei join the formation. This Holy Lord must recover right now. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon hastily said to Su Xingxiang. The 10,000-li god-killing arrow severed all of his meridians. To recover to a degree that could allow Li Xiangfei and Fan Ming enter battle, his only hope was only to dual cultivate. With the Yin Tang strange Qi dual cultivation method, by borrowing Su Xingxiang's magic energy, he could recover. He would make Su Xing regret letting him off today. Hearing the phrase, dual cultivation, Su Xingxiang showed a fleeting expression of derision. This stupid, arrogant man was vainly attempting to have her damage her own cultivation just to help himself. Lord Husband is so short-sighted. Xingxiang feels that there is no more need for you to star duel. Su Xingxiang smiled fully, a ripple in her gaze. What are you doing? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's heart stopped. Suddenly, he felt his neck chill. A pair of dexterous hands wrapped around his neck, and a demon mask revealed malice. It would be better to have Xingxiang bring Lord Husband's soul up and into Maiden Mountain. Su Xingxiang said coldly. There was a sharp crack. Before the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon could let out a scream, Du Yunxiang had already snapped his neck from behind. A crimson star fell into Su Xingxiang's chest. The girl then opened the 10,000 souls parasol and absorbed the corpse. Refining the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon granted Su Xingxiang's cultivation an enormous boon. A pity that I wasted the yin-yang strange qi. Su Xingxiang turned her head back and gazed at the horizon, noticing there was no starfall. It appeared that Purple Thunder Monster did not kill that long Nu. Had I known that I could become that Purple Thunder Monster's woman, your servant star duels would not have been so onerous. Su Xingxiang thought idly as she walked alone on the lake, her parasol held open above her. Liked it? As expected, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was killed anyways. Su Xing watched two crimson stars in the sky fall at the same time. It was obvious. Other than the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon who had contracted 2 stars, there could be no one else. That Su Xingxiang indeed did not let the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon go. However, he did not see the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon starfall last time. This was already very much outside of Su Xing's expectations. It seemed that Su Xingxiang had no way to bear the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's self-destructive stupidity any longer. Because the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was greedy for the advantage of an aquatic environment, he finally met a wretched end. As far as Su Xing was concerned, this was an unexpected gain. There was now one less formidable foe for the final star duel tomorrow. To Wang Luan's team, this was nevertheless a serious blow. The internal atmosphere of the alliance was frozen, depressed. This night passed with a nervous atmosphere. Bright and early the next morning, the sea of clouds billowed around the bright moon Longevity Palace, and the sun rose in the east. Su Xing walked through the corridors, discussing the impending star duel with Wu Xinjie. Lin Yingmei tagged along, silently listening. Noble star Little Whirlwind Chai Ling at this time walked out from the moon-embracing pavilion. Linger, why not sleep a little longer? Su Xing knowingly smiled when he saw her. Chai Ling was taken aback. Perhaps because she felt that she was somewhat unpresentable having only just woken up before she could groom herself, but she covered herself with her hands. Yet you are up very early. Have you finished discussing how you will star duel? You face more than a dozen star masters who are but itching to turn you into scattered ash. As long as we do not let them use their heaven ranks, there will be no issue. We actually want to talk about you, Wuxia said. This palace will become a burden to you. Chai Ling guessed what the knowledge star wanted to say. But it was no wonder, after all, this was the first star duel the noble star had ever joined, so Su Xing was a bit worried. Chai Ling also had the red ink iron certificate destined weapon. It was not hard to imagine that she would become everyone's target. This will be the first time that this palace will head into battle for a star duel. You must not get in this palace's way. Chai Ling beckoned, and the three-eyed wealth-inviting beast leapt into the girl's arms, snuggling into her bosom. This beast was quite pleased with Chai Ling's softness. Su Xing saw that he was unable to persuade her. He could only be a bit more attentive in that case, but with his current strength, this was not much to worry about. Passing through several corridors, Su Xing then saw the Gu Tong carrying Tang Tang. The proprietress had an expression of nervousness, excitement, and depression written all over her face. Gu Tong had never imagined that she would join the final star duel at the center of the Seven Stars Assembly, which left her a bit restless, but upon thinking of her sisters of the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion, that agitation vanished like smoke. Although Su Xing deliberately avoided the topic of Song Qingci, Gu Tong still could surmise that Su Xing and Song Qingci's forms were as incompatible as fire and water. Papa. Tuntung's clear call interrupted her worries. Bai Yutong stretched out her little arms and threw herself into Su Xing's embrace. Tang Tang, today, you're going to stay in the Longevity Palace with a few of your big sisters, Su Xing teased Bai Yutong's nose. Tang Tang blinked her bright large eyes and obediently nodded. Tonger, you'll have to take good care of Tang Tang today. Gu Tong nodded. She wanted to say something but hesitated. Carrying Tang Tang to the Longevity Palace's courtyard, it was at this time that the other wives had awakened as well. Even the meditating Lu Shaking was in solemn attendance. Seeing Su Xing appear, everyone showed smiles to welcome him. Each pair of clear and beautiful eyes were focused on him. The radiance of dawn draped the Longevity Palace in a gorgeous hue. Illuminating each pair of knowing eyes, it made their smiles even more brilliant. Su Xing walked towards them. Along the way, Gong Sun Huang leisurely landed on his shoulder. The gazes of all of the girls were fixed on Su Xing from start to finish. At the border of the Longevity Palace, Su Xing looked down upon the vast earth. The sea of clouds parted. He could already catch sight of a boundless desert of yellow sand. Heat waves leapt into his face, accompanied by his boiling blood. The star duels had finally reached their terminus. My beloved wives, please walk together with me to the very end. Su Xing turned his head and brightly smiled. He then leapt down into the clouds. Lin Yingmei followed without hesitation. Then, Wu Xiao, Hua Wanyue, and the others resolutely descended from their altitude of 10 million li Zhao Hanyan, Gong Kaiwei, and Shiyu did not hesitate either. Their graceful figures immediately descended from the bright moon Longevity Palace. You plains. Scholar in a white robe Wang Lingji turned her head back to look at everyone spread out. Although the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons Starfall the other day was a serious blow to the monster-slaying alliance, this made everyone deeply aware of the Purple Thunder monster's cruelty. On the contrary, their unity could be considered a significant gain. Has everyone already consumed the dark yellow blood? This time, go all out to your heart's desire. Do not leave behind even a bit of regret. Wang Lingji coldly said. Everyone was silent. The other star generals already assumed a formation. The dark yellow blood is miraculous, as expected. This time, I will properly lecture Lin Chong. Huyen Shuang felt the dark yellow blood in her body. She only felt boiling under the U-plane's heat. An intense desire to fight broke out of her chest. Wang Lingji nodded in satisfaction. Although some of these star masters were stunning and peerless, it was a pity they still did not possess sufficient qualifications to face Lin Chong, Wu Song, and Hua Rong. Wang Lingji recalled when she first met with Su Xing and Hua Wanyue in the double sevens. They gave her a lot of pressure, so she was well aware that this so-called monster-slaying alliance was only putting up one last struggle. No matter. These people were basically cannon fodder anyways. So long as they could stall the Purple Thunder monster, this would have been worth it. At that time, this would allow Song Qingci to become the fisherman that took the snipe and clam. With that previous overlord present, even if Su Xing was any more abnormal, he would be helpless. Leader Star Song Qingci. You must not disappoint me, Wang Luan. Just as she thought this, a whistle came from the sky. Everyone raised their head, spotting a dozen figures descending from the heavens. Danger hit them in the face. Everyone stretched their bodies taut, assuming battle stances. In an instant, those figures landed before them, stopping as gracefully as feathers 100 meters away in this barren wasteland. The newcomer was an elegant and righteous man, extraordinarily imposing. Flanking him were absolute beauties of every description. This naturally was Su Xing. What a fine Purple Thunder monster. TSK, the people following you are surprisingly all beauties. Wang Luan clicked her tongue and laughed. Wang Luan. Hua Wanyue was speechless. Wang Lingji, you came out of the double sevens. Su Xing smiled. Not bad, not bad. You still remember this one's true name. With this alone, Lingji can let you die with some satisfaction. Wang Lingji grabbed her white jade long staff, propping it over her shoulders. Xinjie did not expect for even you to appear. Can it be said that Maiden Mountain is already at wit's end? Wu Xinjie curiously looked at this heavenly scholar star, guardian of the double sevens. She was dressed in a white muslin tunic. Her wonderful figure was vaguely visible, enchanting. With seeing clearly, Wu Xinjie discerned that she was true phoenix, around 5th or 6th stage. Compared to her original true phoenix stage from the double sevens, she was a level higher. If you want to know the answer, then see whether or not you can take my staff. Wang Luan smiled. Xinjie will not, but you can have Yingmei. Wu Xinjie helplessly said. Lin Yingmei stepped forth. It was only a single step, but her powerful aura was not reserved, practically suffocating everyone present. Each and every person changed expressions. This panther head was somewhat of an ill omen. Wang Lingji's smile froze. Do you really want to be enemies with me? Su Xing finally said. If it were possible, we actually would not want to be enemies with you. We also want to climb the mountain and end the star duels together with you. However, you must unleash your abilities and defeat us in order to do so. Su Xingxiang said. The others did not say anything. Stupid imperial brother, you get over here this instant. Zhao Hanyan berated Zhao Heng. In the face of such a rebuke, Zhao Heng's expression was even more unsightly. This highness does not have an imperial sister stupid enough to have been deceived by the monster. As a star master, you surprisingly became the woman of another star master. You truly disgraced the Zhao imperial family. His Highness disdains to be associated with you. Suo Qingshuang coldly said. Zhao Hanyan narrowed her eyes. You need a good lecture. Dong Junqing smiled. Both sides stared at each other. At Sai time, the situation was already at the stage where a star duel was inevitable. Whether it was Su Xing or the monster-slaying alliance, both sides understood this. To be frank, I don't want to treat you as enemies. At the foot of Maiden Mountain are enemies that are even more formidable. They are who we should be facing off against. Su Xing shook his head, somewhat disappointed. What are you saying? Wang Lingji thought that Su Xing was speaking of Song Qingci. Fearing his words would begin to arouse suspicion, she immediately declared, no more small talk. If you want to become the overlord, then show us your power. Everyone, what are you waiting for? Scholar in a white robe swept her cold gaze over everyone. Prestige star double clubs Huyen Shuang, agile star featherless arrow Zhang Biluo, magnificent star wood dog of Well Hao Bingxin, the Xie twins and other star generals each manifested their star weapons. Xie Chang'an, Yen Wudao, Yi Futu, Xian Lao, and all the rest of the star masters spurred on their cultivations, flying swords, and abilities. The twinkling of swordlights filled the heavens, becoming a starry sky. Su Xing held nothing back when he saw this. He waved his hand, and his 60 immemorial flying swords flew out at the same time, unperturbed in the face of heaven-shaking killing intent. He only felt regretful. Truly regretful. The final star duel had begun. Leader star protector of righteousness Song Qingxi had long already passed through the Yu plains. Accompanying her were the dozen or so sisters of the uprising. Because Dai Xingyue went to Maiden Mountain first but had not returned after so long, this made the others nervous somewhat. Thus, they hustled without stopping. 1,000 li away, an enormous jolt came from the Yu plains. It seemed to shake even Maiden Mountain, the pillar that supported the heavens. Song Qingxi stopped and turned her head back. That pair of bright and picturesque eyes were full of reluctance. It was not that she was reluctant to leave this Liangshan continent. If she could have climbed the mountain with Lord Su, perhaps ending the star duels would have been even further in her grasp. What a pity that, in the end, the two of them walked their separate ways. Elder sister. The purple thunder monster and those star masters will massacre one another. This is truly too good. Shi Jingluan struck her palm, her expression cold. It truly is a pity that we cannot go witness the battle. Ugly Prince Consort Xian Yinshang said. Right. I have never met that legendary purple thunder monster who is able to contract Lin Chong and Wu Song. I still want to have Mingxi perform rites to help his evil soul find peace. Ding Wanjing innocently said. Shui Mingxi rolled her eyes. Thank heavens this monster did not make my soul find peace. Everyone smiled. Compared to that raging battle, their atmosphere was more relaxed. Be on your guard. Just at this moment, Sik Yuchi's son Yueying suddenly changed expressions. The woman raised and twisted her 1,000 snow piles and 10,000 clouds, shattering an arrow. Everyone was stunned. There was an enormous noise that seemed like the buzzing of bees. The fog was ripped apart. 100 light arrows were fired at them. They all combined their powers to defend. Just at this moment, a bell clearly rang in the mist. Ding! This is Xingyue's bell. Song Qingxi waved her hand, suddenly feeling something ominous. She hastily summoned the heavenly star birth banner. Just at this moment, a figure rushed out. Sun Yueying was about to intercept but immediately ceased her attack when she saw the incoming individual. Speed star Dai Xingyue was drenched in blood as she staggered along. Several arrows stuck out of her chest. The girl's eyes were full of fear. Xingyue. Dai Xingyue. All of the sisters lost their composure. Elder sister, run away, hurry, before Dai Xingyue could reach them, a bloodlight exploded upon her body. Song Qingxi's heavenly star birth banner had only just unfurled when she was shocked to see Dai Xingyue's body turn into stardust. A crimson star fell. The speed star had starfallen. The mist parted. Then, 4 figures slowly walked out. An unprecedented feeling of terror like a knife at their backs firmly seized their bodies. A dispassionate, bloodthirsty voice then said. Song Jiang, your lot has finally come to die. Equals. The monster-slaying alliance's monster-slaying plan was very clear-cut. Su Xing altogether had 14 star generals, with at least 8 of them possessing formidable combat strength. Add on the star masters Zhao Hanyan, Gong Kaiwei, and Shi Yu that stood on his side, they had 20 altogether. The monster-slaying alliance still had 24 even after the loss of the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. From this perspective, the contrast was despairing. The monster-slaying alliance formed from the Star Masters of the 4 territories amounted to a mere 3-person advantage over Su Xing and nothing more. If they added the heavily injured Long Nu and noble Star Chai Ling, even this tiny bit of an advantage would cease to exist. And among these 24 in the monster-slaying alliance, those that truly could pose a threat to Su Xing could be counted on fingers. So the aim of this battle against Su Xing was very clear. All-star generals would stall Lin Yingmei, Wu Xiao, Hun Yangzi, Yan Yizhen, and Lu Shaking, isolating Su Xing. Then, they would surround and attack him. Without his star generals for support, even if the Purple Thunder monster was any stronger, he could not possibly respond to their attacks. Plans were always beautiful. After Yan Wudao and the others summoned their flying swords, Su Xing also called forth his 60 flying swords. The heavenly spirit earthly fiend Purple Star 5 elements flying swords shocked everyone when they emerged. Heaven Tearing, Langya, Frost Powder, Jian Feather, and Time Immemorial executed a sword array that reversed the 5 elements. Heaven Tearing cut through empty space while Langya became a forest around Su Xing, their evil suppressing clear lights manifesting all sorts of warding abilities. Frost Powder fell like snow, chilling to the bone. Jian Feather gathered along Su Xing's back, forming wings that attacked any enemies that drew near. Finally, Time Immemorial was like an impregnable gate, incoming flying swords merely produced sparks on impact. You have surprisingly completely forged this immemorial flying sword. Everyone was astounded. The materials for the 5 elements flying swords were all first-rate. Although he had the tool refinement master Tang Lianxin, this was possibly the first time such a thing was seen in several hundred years. Su Xing pointed. 1,000 purple clouds flew out. Nobody dared receive the attack directly once they saw this was Purple Cloud East approaches. They activated protective abilities in succession. All of a sudden, Su Xing heard a loud whoosh. He lifted his head to see a giant rock dive bombing him, its sharp talons scratching at Su Xing. The incoming immemorial flying sword and Purple Cloud East approaches were surprisingly all blown away by the rock. Die! Rock Demon King! Su Xing did not expect that the Rock Demon King who was not even a Star Master would participate in this battle. Seeing Lady Snake Scorpion was present, Su Xing was impressed with his devotion. His powerful Super Void Peak cultivation burst forth, making the other Star Masters with lower cultivation feel discomfort, but to Su Xing, the Rock Demon King's aggression posed no threat to him at all. He formed a hand seal and pushed. An enormous palm imprint struck the Rock Demon King. Su Xing's power was far stronger than the Rock Demon King's. This palm left the Rock Demon King heavily injured, but the Rock Demon King did not know when to give up. He staked his very life on taking Su Xing down. In the end, Hua Wanyue's 10,000-li god-killing arrow ran through his heart, striking him down. Quickly use your magic weapons. Before Lady Snake Scorpion could howl in grief, she hastily shouted and used the Star's Falling Dragon Sword. Without her saying, Yan Wudao and the others did not hesitate to activate their strongest magic weapons for an all-out battle. The 6 paths plate, mountains and rivers as paintings, 7 feathers fan, all things bracelet, boundless bell, 5 elements ring, black and white dragon corpse bottle, and other weapons were used. In an instant, the U-planes were filled with multicolored lights as the magic weapons swarmed toward Su Xing. The lights filling the sky descended, leaving him nowhere to run. Su Xing shouted. Immediately, the U-planes filled with golden lotuses and Buddhist light. Against these top-notch magic weapons, Su Xing was not flustered. The 10,000 calamities chains emerged. The gigantic chains were as thick as anacondas, clattering out from empty space. Each of the incoming magic weapons collided with it. Upon seeing Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's magic weapon, everyone's expressions turned grim. The 10,000 calamities chain were forged with 10,000 heavenly calamities. Combined with Su Xing's supreme cultivation, this was sufficient to hold his own. This monster has some formidable tricks. Xie Chang'an drew in a deep breath. Even with the encirclement of several great star masters, regardless of their flying swords or magic weapons, surprisingly they did not present even the slightest threat. The purple thunder monsters might far surpass their imaginations. This was not as simple as being Supervoid Peak. As if Xie Chang'an had foreseen this, he and the others including Yan Wudao and Xie Zhenyuan glanced at each other. Everyone rushed toward Su Xing, inscribed Circle of Confinement. 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection. Extreme clarity immortal light. Stupa black and flame. Su Xing watched their tumultuous momentum with a calm and composed expression. He formed a hand seal. Purple cloud east approaches spread in all directions, enveloping everything. Although Yan Wudao and the others' powers were considered brilliant, this purple cloud east approaches was refined to perfection by Su Xing. They were no match. Every kind of immortal light and flame were unable to harm Su Xing in the slightest. But their plan was far from finished. Xie Chang'an used the 6 Patriarchs Platform Sutra, manifesting the 6 Patriarchs Saraira. These Saraira were all refined by Buddhism's strongest Buddhist ancestors. Each Saraira was equivalent to a supervoid cultivator. Even Su Xing felt challenged by the 6 Saraira. So you're the one who killed the Buddha Kingdom's 6 patriarchs. Su Xing nodded. Xie Chang'an sneered. The 6 patriarchs Saraira attacked with full power, and with the 8 legions of Naga and Deval protection, he finally warded off purple cloud east approaches. Xian Lao. Yi Futu shouted. The expressionless stone woman coordinated with him, pointing her finger. The heaven-earth shears immediately flew forth. She had obtained these heaven-earth shears by killing Su Yixiao and Sikong Chuha. Although their coordination was far from being as perfect as the 2 girls, formidable force still burst forth now they were at the crux of life and death. The spiritual aura in the world settled, and Su Xing felt his body tighten. Su Xing coldly grinned and said, "Come on then." Saying this, the heaven-earth shears jolted, gleaming bright white as they twisted toward Su Xing's stomach. They pincered from the left and right, about to snip Su Xing apart straight through the middle like a pair of scissors. Su Xing pointed. The meditative mind lotus flower blossomed, shielding his body. His mind trembled, and he felt his whole body go numb. Indeed, these heaven-earth shears were formidable. Even the meditative mind lotus flower's protection was nearly broken. He did not know how these demon-kin refined it, but the lotus flower's narrow absorption greatly lessened the pressure on Su Xing. The heaven-earth shears corkscrewed back. Lotus flowers descended with a whoosh, but in the end, the shears were unable to break Su Xing's cultivation. Possessing several true Phoenix martial generals, his current strength was already unfathomable. He was unequaled in Liangshan continent. Even Yi Futu and Xian Lao's full-power heaven-earth shears were helpless. Only now did Yi Futu finally realize the aspect of the purple thunder monster that was truly terrifying. Su Xing pointed. His flying swords combined together, and a sword light struck down the heaven-earth shears. Then, the 10,000 calamities chains erupted with bolts of thunder. Combined with purple cloud east approaches, this truly closed the U-plains off like a holy land, but the others' attacks were far from finished. Just when everyone had surrounded Su Xing, Xie Zhenyuan already broke through the encirclement and rushed over. Although Su Xing had once saw Xie Zhenyuan's impressive martial arts back at 3 Clarities Field, he was far from presenting a threat. Su Xing felt this was strange, but he did not say anything. He surreptitiously turned his wrist over. Then, he controlled heaven tearing. Swordlight like a majestic golden dragon ran through the U-plains twisting toward Xie Zhenyuan. Xie Zhenyuan shook the 3 Clarities banner he had surprisingly obtained, spitting out 3 enormous green lotuses to contain it. Then, he warped in front of Su Xing. Su Xing was about to kill Xie Zhenyuan, but just at this moment, Xie Zhenyuan's collar fell open, revealing a little loli that was quite close to Bai Yutang in age. Instinctively, Su Xing promptly drew back his hand. Oh! Xie Zhenyuan seized this chance. Rulan, use your earth rank. The trembling Ho Rulan heard his command and immediately moved her little hands. The heavenly silkworm treasure silk and backlighting divine needles flew out, forming a line. For her earth rank, boundless capture net, the sewing needle and silk thread shuttled back and forth through empty space, weaving a net, sealing Su Xing's escape path. You want to die? Su Xing's expression turned cold. We know that your cultivation defies natural order, Purple Thunder Monster. However, the others never thought that even our combined efforts would be unable to phase you. But fortunately, Zhenyuan already knew this would happen. Xie Zhenyuan calmly said. His forehead then released white light, twinkling once more with a second star crest. This star crest moved, and the shape of a prison manifested behind him. Suddenly, a young woman walked out from behind the bars. This girl was dressed in a golden palace dress, possessing a dainty figure and an extraordinary beauty, particularly her blue pupils that were chilling to the bone and surging with killing intent. A second star general. Su Xing's brow rose. Luo Shui, kill him. Xie Zhenyuan had been waiting for precisely this moment. Everyone in the world knew that a star general was a paragon of violence. Even Liangshan continent's strongest cultivators would lack any chance of winning against a martial force star general in a direct confrontation, so this monster-slaying alliance's true aim was just for this moment. To completely obstruct all of Su Xing's star generals, then finally trap him with Ho Rulan, and have the secure star kill Su Xing. In the past star duels, countless insufferably arrogant star masters harbored lingering grudges due to being killed by star generals. Secure star Sikuan Sua Yang Luoshui also had the heavenly prison innate skill. Any person who approached her would be hindered and unable to easily break free. So long as he could allow Yang Luo appear when Lin Chong was not standing guard, Xie Zhenyuan believed the Purple Thunder Monster would be dead without a doubt. When the secure star appears, that guillotine-like frost magnificence shining moon blade exploded with a formidable deterrent force. Although it was only 4-star, it was still stifling. Yang Luoshui entered the array, the frost magnificence shining blood cutting the purple clouds to pieces. Then, she used dark technique, 5 cuts corpse dismemberment. The current Yang Luoshui already had the powerful realm of True Phoenix 3rd stage. True Phoenix wings emerged from her back, any ability would find it difficult to contend against her. 5 enormous, chilling blade lights fell towards Su Xing's limbs and neck. The saber lights honestly were like rain. A harsh ripping sound resounded in their ears. To the side, Yen Wudao, Xie Chang'an and the others watched with fear and trepidation, not daring to underestimate Xie Zhenyuan. As expected of the number Azure Dragon Territory Star Master of their time, he indeed hid very profoundly. If it was not for Wang Luan appearing and instructing martial arts, perhaps this Yang Luoshui would never have shown herself. However, it was precisely because she was present that she had instead become this monster-slaying alliance's key killing potential. The blade light dissipated. Yang Luoshui's smile immediately frozen. Her frost magnificence shining moon was surprisingly blocked. Secure star, I finally get to meet you. Su Xing breathed deeply. Enormous cuts were left on his body, dully aching, but compared to being dismembered, this was considered very light. His hand raised the purple brilliant reclining moon blade. The destined weapon of the brave star was only strong, never weak. You are surprisingly able to use a star weapon so quickly. Yang Luoshui was stunned. The girl's eyes revealed killing intent, immediately using another technique. Watch this. Frost magnificence shining moon descended. It clashed for several dozen bouts against the purple brilliant reclining moon. Su Xing was surprisingly very casual, not falling behind. Everyone felt only disbelief when they saw there was a star master that was surprisingly capable of fighting evenly with a true Phoenix martial general. This man was a monster. Could he be transforming Star of Annihilation? Yan Wudao's entire body chilled. Su Xingxiang was taken aback. Amazement flashed through her eyes, which she immediately concealed. We must quickly go help the secure star. Yi Futu shouted. Just at this moment, all of a sudden, everyone felt their heads sink and their bodies stagnate for an instant. By the time they raised their heads to look, all of their faces were ashen. Wuxia and the others were already flying over. In no time at all. Their star generals had all been completely wiped out. Liked it? Time rewinds to a moment ago. Elder sister, die. The monster-slaying alliance's star generals rushed when they saw Su Xing's incoming star generals. They were numerous, promptly spreading out and seeking out their own targets. Even in death, they would stall for as much time as they could for their masters to fight Su Xing. Magnificent star Hao Bingxin spotted the pilgrim Wusong's waterfall like black hair in an instant. The once defeated magnificent star immediately spouted flames from her eyes. She grit her teeth, dexterously raising her broadsword, the 5-star silver snow dragon abyss. Her star beast Snowball was at her side, instantly augmenting her strength. She then entered True Phoenix first stage. Among the earthly stars, this realm could not be looked down upon. One absolute Psi ice dust, then a white dragon leaving peak, and finally a white night desolation. The yellow, dark, and earth techniques were used in succession, their attack power violent. An ice-cold swordlight drifted over like a blizzard, directly launching towards Wuxia. Wuxia narrowed her eyes. Without batting an eye, she clenched her right hand, calling forth Noble Frost Demonic Lotus. The pilgrim's footwork danced about, meeting the snowstorm-like attack. The Black Lotus sword chi suddenly shot in all directions, blossoming flowers and unbroken swordlight. Your martial arts have improved markedly. Wuxia praised. The two clashed for close to 50 bouts. Hao Bingxin's massive sword was increasingly sluggish while Wuxia's was increasingly smooth and flowing, graceful and lithe. Snowball had been very quickly killed in the exchange. Hao Bingxin was forced back repeatedly, infuriating her. She activated her earth-rank Sleeping Frost-laying snow battle sword. The girl seemed to enter a dream state. Her swordsmanship turned erratic, swinging her immense sword as if it was light as a feather, leaving every sort of sharp trajectory. The dark yellow blood surged in her body. Hao Bingxin only felt that she was even closer to heaven rank. Wuxia's pupils contracted. The pilgrim hastily withdrew, suddenly separated her double swords, attacking from the left and right. Hao Bingxin charged forward, directly attacking Wuxia. The cool and elegant pilgrim somersaulted, landing on top of the massive sword, displaying ice-cold footwork. Hao Bingxin heaved, swinging her sword. Swordlight ripped apart the surrounding area, but the pilgrim leapt high up, stepping past the girl's soft shoulder, forcing Hao Bingxin to a knee. The magnificent star immediately reacted, swinging her sword back towards Wuxia's torso. Among the earthly stars, her martial arts were already considered to be skillful and excellent, her progress rapid, but it was a pity that she was nevertheless against the 1,000-year martial general Wusong. Just as the monster-slaying alliance had a clear plan to isolate Su Xing, Wu Xinjie similarly had her own plan. This was to not allow any of them to use their heaven ranks. The only thing in the monster-slaying alliance that actually posed a threat to Su Xing was a heaven rank. Wu Xinjie would not allow this to occur. The best solution was to swiftly conclude the battles. Hao Bingxin rose up powerlessly, lifting her head to gaze at her elder sister's figure, feeling only awe. That hair that reached past the waist obscured her line of sight. The black and white swords stabbed forth from within. Hao Bingxin was already too late to retreat. She looked on helplessly as Wuxia's noble frost demonic lotus blossomed against her chest. How can this? How Bingxin staggered. Wuxia halted, gazing at her. That warm gaze made Hao Bingxin's heart throb incessantly. In the end, the magnificent star did not use her heaven rank, falling into the star nest with a grievance. Stupid imperial brother, kneel and concede your mistake right now. Zhao Hanyan's rebuke appeared completely incongruous with this stifling battlefield. Zhao Heng's face was a complete red, as if he had been humiliated. He originally wanted to join the unit that was subjugating the Purple Thunder monster, yet he was targeted by the Ling Yan princess. This highness does not have an imperial sister like you, who has surprisingly been consorting with the monster. Die. Zhao Hanyan's gaze was increasingly ice-cold. Although she did not hold any sentiments towards her imperial brother, they were blood after all. If it was possible, she did not want to let this guy die in vain. Flight Star Impatient Vanguard Suo Qingshuang raised her 5-star 100,000 Flame Dragon Axe, activating her charge innate skill, once again using her Earth rank, Flame Emperor Slash. The Five Tigers General Dong Junqing frivolously smiled. This general should properly teach little sister, similarly using her own Earth technique. After a few dozen bouts, Suo Qingshuang's strength was already less than what she wanted it to be. Zhao Hanyan sent forth her 100 outer void flying immortal swords. When Zhao Heng saw this, he summoned a treasure chest, using his magic weapon, Land of the King. The treasure chest became a yellow cloud that immediately followed the flying swords and wrapped around all of them. Then, it moved towards Zhao Hanyan. This Land of the King was a magic weapon meticulously refined. It was able to continuously cover 1,000 li without interruption. Even if they could resist it, the average cultivator would be swallowed up before long. Once covered by Land of the King, the cultivator's consciousness would not easily break free. Upon seeing Zhao Heng was surprisingly in possession of such a magic weapon, Wuxia was wondering whether to intervene. This princess can lecture this little brother. Zhao Hanyan said with an even stricter expression. She raised the yin-yang bracelet. Wuxia nodded and stayed her hand. She looked to the other sisters. The others were fully aware they could not delayed. They were more or less making an all-out effort. Chai Ling faced complete star stream leaping tiger Chen Zhanlu. When Chen Zhanlu saw the noble star had joined the star duels, she was elated. She wanted to take Chai Ling's red ink iron certificate and was the first to rush straight towards Chai Ling. The pouncing kill silver light spears light glimmered, unleashed wildly like sparks. Earth rank, blood frost becomes dream. This was Chai Ling's first star duel against a sister. From the start, she was somewhat unsure of what to do, but very quickly, she was irritated by Chen Zhanlu's aggression and hopping about. Although the queen did not have combat capability, she comprehended much from refining her former volume Heavenly Book, leading to an increase in her realm. The wealth-inviting beast spat out a beam of gold, throw money away recklessly. At first, Chen Zhanlu was somewhat disdainful of this ridiculous attack, but subsequently, throw money away recklessly continued, unending. Stream leaping tiger was left dumbstruck. Gold filled the skies, pounding her silly. In the end, there was no place to hide. She was surprisingly smashed back into the star nest by Chai Ling's ruthless throw money away recklessly. Xie Diao and Xie Chan used their goo and poison arts to hinder Gong Sun Huang. When the twins saw the lowly, they were vexed and angered as they recalled that they had nearly destroyed this ranked fourth sister back at the Vermilion Bird territory. The twins were very coordinated, completely in sync. Even when Gong Sun Huang used every kind of star magic, she was unable to break free. The bamboo viper gloom blade and golden scorpion fine rain needles were strangely persistent, sinister, and tricky. Even when Gong Sun Huang had the phoenix perching cloud clothes that Tang Lianxin refined, these barely lessened the pressure upon her. We could have killed you back then, we can do so today, too. The twins declared, baring their fangs and showing malevolent expressions. The Xia twins possessed a powerful heaven-earth dark yellow skill that made them the most problematic opponent among all the star generals. Just as expected, their destined weapons crossed, activating their heaven-earth dark yellow right after their earth rank. They wanted to immediately take down Gongsun Huang. However, the leisure star had completely changed since back then. The girl pointed her pine-brand ancient sword. Her whole body ignited with flames, transforming into an absolutely beautiful phoenix. Snake-Scorpion Beauty's kiss was nevertheless insidious. Poison fog rolled, running through and boring into the phoenix's body. Snake-Scorpion Beauty's kiss entangled her, and Gongsun Huang's star magic was continuous. All of a sudden, an array appeared that trapped the Xia twins. Immediately afterwards, the Ice Soul Snow Spirit flying swords advanced, radiating a penetrating cold light. Immortal hero Princess Gong Kaiwei and leader star Zhu Sha had joined in. The Five Elements Weather Banners array was unique, and with Gong Kaiwei's outstanding sword technique, the twins immediately lost their advantages. Gongsun Huang cocked her head as she looked at Gong Kaiwei. The girl was expressionless, merely nodding slightly at her. The two of them had met each other in the past, so they were not strangers. Gongsun Huang in the past had been attracted into observing the immortal hero princess by Gong Kaiwei's clothes that were purer than snow and her spotlessness. Afterwards, this led to the leisure star wanting to sign a contract with Gong Kaiwei, yet there was a rumor she was rejected. Although the fact was that Gongsun Huang indeed had a favorable impression of Gong Kaiwei, at that time, Gong Kaiwei had already met divine strategist Zhu Sha. The two of them could only become foes. They never imagined that because of their connection to Su Xing, the two of them could walk the same path again. Protected by Zhu Sha's array, Gongsun Huang focused on using her star magic. Xie Diao and Xie Chan showed complex expressions when they saw their heaven-earth dark yellow skill was broken. They immediately withdrew. Gong Kaiwei took out her tracing snow sword and pursued, unleashing a white light. The Xie twins' goo poison was unrivaled. The two of them working together against a single star general could leave them an abundance of leeway, but after Gong Kaiwei and Zhu Sha joined in, they immediately showed a defeated appearance. After fighting several bouts, Gongsun Huang charged and used Phoenix Execution Sky Break. Xie Chan was no match and was destroyed back into the star nest. When Xie Diao saw her little sister had been killed, her heart ached and filled with uncontrollable rage. The dark yellow blood boiled to the extreme. She felt killing intent burst forth in her chest, but without Xie Chan, Xie Diao was completely outmatched. Filled with fury, she was destroyed by Gongsun Huang's glimmering red light, fleeing back to Lady Snake Scorpion while cutting a sorry figure. Xian Lao's star general, General of Heavenly Vision Peng Fei, was also easily killed by Wu Xinjie using the 8 gates black gold chains. The disparity in power between the monster-slaying alliance's star generals and Su Xing's side was too great. Even the Hao Bingxin who entered True Phoenix Realm could not avoid being easily defeated by Wuxia. In mere moments, Hao Bingxin, Suo Qingshuang, Chen Zhanlu, Peng Fei, and Xie Chan fell into their star nests in succession. The remaining star generals nevertheless lasted a bit longer. Agile Star Featherless Arrow's target was Yanizhan. Zhang Biluo, king of concealed weapons, could be said to be bursting with confidence. She believed that she was capable of taking the True Phoenix first stage skillful star. The asking directions to the underworld stones flickered with gloomy flames, appearing and disappearing through space. Yanizhan indeed was battered and bruised, showing many wounds pounded all over her body. However, the skillful star had fine footwork and perfect boxing. Zhang Biluo was unable to shake her off, preventing Featherless Arrow from dividing her attention to attack others. Furthermore, hero star Hua Wanyue was also here, using her frightening archery to firmly lock in Zhang Biluo. Zhang Biluo used her own body techniques to continuously utilize her concealed weapons. Many times, her techniques nearly killed Yanizhan, but they were all intercepted by Hua Wanyue's bow and arrow. One was the king of concealed weapons while the other was the master of archery. They were light and darkness, going to and fro, evenly matched, very intense. Jean Billuot's heart was furious. Seeing that more than half of the monster-slaying alliance's Star General's sister had become casualties, she began to worry. Yan Yizhen seized her chance, moving her feet. A swallow flash samsara rapidly closed in. So what if you have a moment of pride? Jean Billuot thought. Gritting her teeth, she braced her chest and endured Yan Yizhen's heavy punch. The girl's divine intent locked on, secretly focusing her earth rank, no life under heaven, to turn things around in one move. Little E, look out. After Wu Xinjie killed Peng Fei, she spotted the flaming underworld stones around Jean Billuot abruptly manifest demons, thinking to herself that this was bad. Just as expected. Once Swallow Flash Samsara ended, Jean Billuot's no life under heaven promptly activated. The concealed weapons were like demons, their gloomy green vanishing momentarily into thin air. Zhang Qing's concealed weapons were the most famous in the world. Once, she alone defeated 5-6 heavenly stars in a spectacular display. Wu Xinjie feared that variable would arise, so she used the 8 gates black gold chains bind silk before rain. Chains clattered through space, soaring out, forming a net. At the same time, the concealed weapons attacked, striking the chains. The demonic flames became a fog, sounding like a rainstorm. Even the 8 gates black gold chains were brought to the edge of collapse. See how Billuot's heaven rank shall destroy you all. Jean Billuot arrogantly shouted. Her fingers ignited, and her whole body started to become nothingness. A pair of apathetic vermilion eyes suddenly appeared in front of her. Hua Wanyue used a sun-piercing heavenly rainbow to catch the weak points of all the incoming concealed weapons. Meanwhile, the maid had arrived in front of Jean Billuot. Seizing her, that figure that had disappeared into nothingness was surprisingly pulled out. Jean Billuot was shocked, sensing her technique had been interrupted. Immediately, she felt her heart stop. The world lost its light. Earth rank snapped bowstring Magnolia Lily Ballad. Liked it? Dark rank snapped bowsting Magnolia Lily Ballad. Interrupting Jean Billuot's charged heaven rank, Yan Yizhen then used her earth rank 9 yin 9 yang life and death. Yin and yang gathered, combining with her palms. Although Jean Billuot's body techniques were exceptional, it was difficult to display her technique when she had been seized by Yan Yizhen's yin-yang life and death. Thus, she was struck down by the skillful star's palm attack. For a star general like Jean Billuot who was superb with concealed weapons but weak in defense, Yan Yizhen's powerful earth rank was already enough to drop her into the star nest. But Jean Billuot surprisingly forced herself back up. All of her meridians were smashed by yin-yang life and death, but the girl relied on her formidable willpower to avoid falling into the star nest. Jean Billuot was very aware that this was the final star duel. If she died, that would mean her master, Yan Wudao, would fall into a dangerous situation with no hope of reprieve, so, she absolutely could not fall into the star nest, at least not like this. The charming girl showing such strong willpower moved even Yan Yizhen. Far away, Hua Wanyue's charged 10,000-li god-killing arrow could not help but hesitate for a moment as well. Jean Billuot staggered forward, spreading her fingers again. Between her fingers, dim green flames ignited, becoming 8 rhomboid concealed weapons, the asking directions to underworld stones. Heaven rank, common masses, are, with Jean Billuot's heavy injuries, there was completely no way for her to bear the power of using a heaven rank. The girl was very stubborn. The space around her vanished and shattered, then gathered up again. If it was any other final star duel, Yan Yizhen would have allowed the elder sister Featherless Arrow standing before her to use her heaven rank, common masses are nothingness, to resolve her wish. But Yan Yizhen was acutely aware that this was not the final star duel, at least not for her master. Song Jiang, who was perhaps an even stronger foe, was currently waiting at Maiden Mountain for him, so at this time, at least at this current time, any compassion or sentiments would be out of bounds of her conduct as a maid. Apologies. The indifferent maid slightly sighed, showing regret and respect. Her victory in this battle against Zhang Biluo was entirely established upon Hua Wanyue's suppression, the coordination between long and close range. If she had faced Zhang Biluo alone, she honestly would not have been a match. The flower tattoo etched on her back shimmered, letting out crimson light together with Yan Yizhen's vermilion eyes. Her figure warped. Her yin-yang palm sunk into the lethal point of her chest. Her back of nothingness, the faintly discernible power and formidable willpower all crumbled in an instant, vanishing into thin air. You are named Wudao, and Biluo's concealed weapons are known to be inescapable. Contracting with you would be perfect. Bearing those words when they signed their contract back then, agile star featherless arrow Zhang Biluo mournfully looked at the sky spinning above her, falling into the star nest. She was a formidable opponent. Hua Wanyue patted the taciturn Yan Yizhen. As long as we can end the star duels, there will surely still be that day we can meet. Yan Yizhen grunted. All of a sudden, they heard everyone cry out. They raised their heads to see a radical change in the crimson stars in the sky. Star after crimson star fell into Maiden Mountain, a scene that would make anyone have goosebumps. Oh, no. Hua Wanyue's smile vanished. Fox of voracious admiration Humi was somewhat conflicted. While the others and their star generals began to stall Su Xing's star generals, she herself was somewhat aloof. After teaming up with him against Li Taisui in the Crystal Dragon Palace and entering the Longevity Palace, much of her hostility towards Su Xing had been eliminated. Secondly, Su Xing's declaration to end the star duels made her and Su Jingshu somewhat moved. However, Humi was nevertheless unwilling to join Su Xing's Seven Stars assembly like this. While everyone else were conducting star duels, Humi flew towards the Longevity Palace. Humi. Shiyu stood in front of her. Want to take revenge? Humi was indifferent. Golden Lancer Su Jingshu raised her spear, baring her pure white teeth. You are not like the other star masters. On behalf of Sir, lowly servant wants to invite you to climb the mountain with us and end the star duels. Shiyu knew of Humi's might. Now was not the time to harbor grudges. The dangers of Maiden Mountain were unknown, and to have her and Golden Lancer would be very helpful to them. That you have not raised your hand, you should have some considerations, is that not true? Shiyu said. Humi remained silent. To not compete against Lin Chong or Wu Song, to climb the mountain like this is too uninteresting. Su Jingshu laughed. Shiyu was quiet. In terms of martial prowess, Zhang Feiyu was completely outmatched against the Golden Lancer. It would be better to allow me to take the place of Ingmei and Sio. A solemn voice faintly carried wind and thunder. A woman dressed in white Buddhist garb floated to Shiyu's side. This woman was pretty, possessing wavy golden hair. Her eyes were calm, solemn and majestic. So you are the solitary star. An honor to meet at last. Su Jingshu looked at Lu Shaking and respectfully nodded. The solitary star practiced Chan, placing herself outside the star duels, untainted by the slightest bit of killing intent. Then how about this? Humi shall seize little sister Shiyu and blackmail Su Xing to join his Seven Stars assembly. Humi covered her mouth, smiling craftily. This way, Humi can avoid disgracing the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace's name. Fine, however, if you are defeated by lowly servant, then you shall be Sir's concubine, the lowest one at that. Shiyu harumphed without showing weakness. Their bet was one of dignity. A girl will doll herself up for he who loves her. There was nothing higher than this. Humi and Shiyu's eyes were like lightning, shooting sparks. Interesting. We shall we who conquers who then? Su Jingshu laughed. Her golden hooked soul-snatching lance thrust towards Lu Shaking. Lu Shaking brought out the devil's sealing crescent moon Chan staff to intercept. As if divine warriors had bumped into each other, there was a burst of glaring sparks, as if a miniature sun had suddenly exploded. Su Jingshu's body sank, her wrists were numb, and she nearly lost grip of her spear. She immediately drew back under the intense light. This solitary star-flowery monk was indeed of relentless brute strength. Su Jingshu shouted. Her true phoenix realm wings extended, and her dark technique, gold and stone splitter, activated. A golden ray burst out of the spear, slashing directly at Lu Shaking's head. Lu Shaking could not avoid it completely in time and was struck in the shoulder by the spear light. There was a rumble. A hole was tore open in Lu Shaking's shoulder. Practically all of Su Xing's wives wore astral treasures, all refined meticulously by Tang Lianqin. For example, Lu Shaking's golden-marked heavenly woman Chan was as well. It was impervious to sword and spear, but a dark rank was able to break through, which was outside of Lu Shaking's expectations. It was obvious how formidable Su Jingshu's martial arts were. Lu Shaking remained as calm as a dry well. The withering thriving lotus flower beast flew out, dancing beside the girl. This withering thriving lotus flower beast appeared bizarre, like a white lotus flower on a vine. Blossoms appeared around Lu Shaking. It could not only allow Lu Shaking to hover in the air, it could also settle her mind, improving her reactions. After withstanding Su Jingshu's dark technique, the next spear attack came, not giving Lu Shaking a chance to catch her breath. The spear's rainbow linked up, a stream like a waterfall, falling around Lu Shaking. Ever since she joined the star duels, Lu Shaking very rarely had an actual battle. Even when she returned to the Longevity Palace, most of her time was spent comprehending Dharma, but she had once battled 7th Overlord Hu Banzwang. Each of the star maidens possessed unique innate skills, but each had their own niche. While the secure star could trap herself in the star nest to advance her realm, Lu Shaking's attachment to Buddhism was also like this. Lu Shaking unleashed her true phoenix realm. Phoenix wings brilliantly unfolded. Lu Shaking raised her Chan staff, striking with gorgeous Buddhist light. This was her Heavenly King's Devil Sealing Chan technique. The descending killing chi was entirely destroyed. Su Jingshu renewed her shouts, contorting space and firing spear light again. Chan clothes floated. The heavenly woman Chan clothes were peppered with holes, but Lu Shaking did not shrink back. She clenched her fist, slamming a punch into Su Jingshu's exposed chest. Arhat punch. Bang. As if striking metal or stone, Lu Shaking's passionless eyes all of a sudden showed surprise. The power of her fist was unexpectedly unable to penetrate into Su Jingshu's body. Fortunately, your servant has treasure armor. Her brocade was shattered by monster strength, revealing Su Jingshu's second star weapon, goose feather ring gold armor. This time, you will not escape. Su Jingshu was high above, gripping her spear and stabbing down towards Lu Shaking. A perfectly straight golden light ran straight through Lu Shaking and out behind her. Earth rank spear technique. Light Een spear. Spear light pierced through Lu Shaking and dug an unfathomable chasm through the U-planes. All of a sudden, the withering thriving lotus flower beast was killed instantly by the spear light filling the area. The heavenly woman Chan clothes were completely destroyed. Su Jingshu was confident this completely on-target Earth-rank spear technique absolutely could heavily injure Lu Shaking or even make her return to the star nest. But before the flowing beam of light Een could disperse, Su Jingshu's self-confidence immediately froze. Lu Shaking surprisingly dashed out with power to spare. How can this woman? Su Jingshu was astounded. Lu Shaking's mercy palm strike was already extended, striking against her treasure armor. Su Jingshu was pushed back by this attack. She felt her whole body ache, as if her organs had been flipped around. Steadying herself, she was then amazed to find that goose feather ring gold armor surprisingly caved in with a palm-shaped dent. This solitary star was a good opponent. Su Jingshu's smile turned even more coarse and wild. Lu Shaking brandished her palm. Mercy recuperated some of her injuries, allowing her the strength to still stand. However, she still cast an expression of amazement toward Su Jingshu. The martial arts of the guardian star before her eyes were exceptional. Very good. For the next move, we shall use heaven ranks to decide the winner. Su Jingshu laughed. Lu Shaking stepped upon lotus flowers, swinging her Chan staff. The staff drew an arc, twisting in Su Jingshu's surroundings. The solemn woman used the devil sealing crescent moon Chan staff's earth rank to tell Su Jingshu that she was far from finished. Earth rank Chan technique. Annihilation of all living forms. This is bad. Su Jingshu's expression sank. While Lu Shaking and Su Jingshu were in the middle of battle, Shiyu and Humi were also battling evenly. As Su Xing's wife, Shiyu was naturally unwilling to be overpowered by Humi. Secondly, she wanted to avenge her original defeat. Humi, on the other hand, wanted to use the position of a victor to join Su Xing's 7 Stars Assembly, to arrogantly tell all the world. The two women bet their dignity on this duel. Neither was willing to hold back. That killing intent was surprisingly far more intense than anyone else's. The Water Moon Paradise flying swords clashed with the Purple Firmament flying swords in midair. Swordlight wildly collided, and killing intent pervaded. Shiyu then formed a hand seal, wielding the immemorial vermilion Jian clinging fire. Humi also released her boundless purple light to contend against it. Humi was inwardly quite shocked. She did not imagine that the Shiyu that was previously not her opponent would surprisingly advance by leaps and bounds, to learn this level of power. Even she herself was surprisingly barely able to manage. It seems you have married a good lord husband. Humi indifferently assessed. Both of them were at supervoid middle stage cultivation. After competing fiercely in strength for a while, Shiyu activated her magic weapon, the Dual Modes Ruler. 2 green rulers instantly appeared, their images heavy as they attacked Humi. However, your servant wonders whether or not your lord husband has given you an even better magic weapon. The fox of voracious admiration slightly smiled. Her wrist flipped, revealing a portrait. This portrait contained the scene of yin and yang, of primordial chaos. Humi shook the diagram. A golden bridge flew out from the diagram and caught the Dual Modes Ruler's golden light. This was none other than the once strongest magic weapon. Supreme Ultimate Diagram. However, compared her amazement back in the Crystal Dragon Palace, Shiyu was already much calmer. This made Humi take notice of her. How about you try this? Shiyu sneered. Her wrist flipped, revealing a simple and unadorned fan. She opened the fan. A dreamland appeared upon the blank fan, placing Shiyu at its center. This fan, how interesting. Humi's brow tightly wrinkled. This time, she could not bring herself to smile. Liked it? The Cloud Dream Fan, the magic weapon that originally belonged to Li Taisui. After undergoing Tang Lianxin's refinement, it was already no longer the same. Starlights that filled the sky fell down, even beautifully. Shiyu brandished the fan, waving it. Immediately, thunder filled the area, as if millions upon millions of thunder dragons were dancing wildly. Humi had once seen this Cloud Dream Fan, and she was aware that it was the magic weapon that Li Taisui was once so proud of. She did not dare underestimate it. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram in her hand shook, and a golden bridge flew out from the picture that presumably would not be defeated before Shiyu. Then, when the Dual Modes Ruler, its green lights, and its ruler images attacked, golden light glittered around Humi, gathering into a Supreme Ultimate pattern. This Supreme Ultimate Diagram wrapped up the green light, completely absorbing the Dual Modes Ruler. Following Humi's toss, it instead attacked Shiyu. This Supreme Ultimate Diagram was the nemesis of all magic weapons in the world. It was practically impeccable. Shiyu was well aware of its might. In this battle against the fox of voracious admiration, her heart was already prepared. Her divine intent moved, and 10,000 thunder dragons surged together, overturning the heavens. The dual mode's ruler was also formidable, destroying a majority of the soaring thunder dragons. Humi stepped onto the golden bridge and charged towards Shiyu. Shiyu then raised another magic weapon. A sky-blue bracelet suddenly expanded. This bracelet was shaped like a hungry wolf devouring the moon. That moon was a shiny stone. Humi could see that was a stone from Star World. This is bad. Humi stopped her steps, beckoning with her hand. A purple chain of pearls flew out, releasing rays of auspicious light, its brilliance interweaving like a giant net. It suddenly plunged down. Just at this moment, Shiyu's bracelet released a ray of green light that condensed into a gigantic wolf. It opened its maw that could devour the sun and barreled towards Humi. This beast was the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf. Originally obtained back at the Crystal Dragon Palace's treasure banquet auction, it was then strengthened by Tang Lianxin finally into the current 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram could counter myriad weapons, but the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf was an immemorial demon beast, outside of magic weapons. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram naturally was unable to hinder it, otherwise, Wu Xinjie would never have hastily purchased it back then. However, the Supreme Ultimate Diagram was the #1 prehistoric magic weapon after all. Although it could not turn the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf for its own use, the Supreme Ultimate Golden Bridge obstructed the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf, not allowing it to draw near. Humi then raised the magic cloud chain. The chain became a net of clouds and light that constricted the 7 Kills Ravenous Wolf. Shiyu then swept the Cloud Dream Fan, once again unleashing thunder that shook the 4 territories. Humi was astonished at Shiyu's aggression. She was far stronger than the girl she was back then. All in all, Shiyu had once stayed in the Black Turtle Territory's devil cults. Her mind was an unyielding, biting cold. She previously allowed Humi to humiliate her twice, so she acted without mercy. To not be able to avenge my defeats, how can I have the qualifications to be Sir's wife? Thinking of this, Shiyu's heart became even more chilly. Humi once again shook the Supreme Ultimate Diagram. Countless golden lights fell, linking to the golden bridge in all directions, destroying all of the thunder. The dual mode's ruler gathered even stronger ruler lights that attacked Shiyu. If it was not for the light of the Cloud Dream Fan's Cloud Dream Realm protecting her, Shiyu would have already been defeated. But Humi was not having an easy time either. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram was rapidly draining her magic energy. Extended usage was already making Humi somewhat fatigued. She was also maintaining several types of magic weapons. She was already a bit exhausted both physically and mentally. She thought rapidly, brainstorming a plan for decisive victory. The two women fought several dozen bouts, their killing intent rocketing into the sky, a frightening sight. Just as Humi was urging on the Supreme Ultimate Diagram with all her power, breaking open Shiyu, at this moment, the sky shook. She glanced over. Crimson stars fell one after another around Maiden Mountain like a meteor shower. This abnormality shook Humi's heart. This minor distraction nevertheless exposed a large opening. Shiyu bit open her finger. Blood splashed like the canopy of an umbrella. Shiyu dashed towards Humi. Through that canopy of blood, the dark red blood all of a sudden burst into flames, surging in an instant. In a blood-soaked rebirth, she descended upon the golden bridge, attacking Humi. The clinging heaven vermilion Jian's true spirit was released around Shiyu. The water illusion fairy's powers already reached their peak. In her distraction, Humi allowed Shiyu to seize her. By the time she came to her senses, the ancient clinging fire was already swinging down like a blade. Oh, no. Humi's heart sank, and the clinging fire hacked into her body. While the monster-slaying alliance confronted Su Xing, the strongest of the 5 Tigers generals Huyen Shuang and the one above the star duels, scholar in a white robe Wang Luan were together. Huyen Shuang's was a 6-star destined weapon, ranking among the top 3 in martial force this generation. Wang Luan was once in the double sevens, her realm extraordinary. She could be considered the uncrowned overlord of Maiden Mountain. Their opponent was naturally Lin Yingmei. The 6-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear. With the formidable battle doctrine innate skill, it could be said that the Panther Head was the strongest across the 9 generations. Even Huyen Shuang was not her opponent. Wang Lingji threw out the double sevens clinging phoenix staff. This merely 3-star destined weapon could be said to be her greatest disadvantage. Lin Yingmei attacked without mercy. There was immediately a crystalline sound as spear shadows filled the air. The two of them fought evenly for several dozen bouts. Lin Yingmei coldly said, "Young master is only ending the mutual slaughter of our Maiden Mountain sisters. Why do you obstruct him? Humph, Panther Head, you have been confused by him. How can one man end this?" Wang Lingji sneered. She held the staff in one hand, unleashing a white rainbow all in one breath, her high love deep hatred technique. Lin Yingmei intercepted the staff and spun her body. Her spear's light flashed, quickly attacking. When Wang Lingji saw the high love deep hatred had no effect, she was secretly shocked, sliding backwards continuously. The double sevens clinging phoenix staff assumed an expanded form, descending. The spear tip then stabbed. There was the sound of a crisp, ice-cold collision. The two of them slammed together. Within several breaths, the two of them had already exchanged 100 blows. Lin Yingmei's realm was far beyond Wang Lingji's imagination, her intense attacks unending. Wang Lingji was gradually falling behind. She spun around, moving like a spiral, her staff shadows washing away Lin Yingmei's assault. Then, her staff moved left and right, 2 rays of killing intent flying out. Just like 2 enormous palms clapping together, this left Lin Yingmei with no place to run. This was none other than dark rank 2 character heart weight. Lin Yingmei remained composed, her 6-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear's spear chi forceful, but a single swipe broke the dark rank. Spear light flowed, unleashing a chill. Wang Lingji was no match, her shoulders sustaining the blow, causing blood to directly spurt forth. But it was a pity that she did not comprehend heaven rank in the short time she had since leaving the double sevens, otherwise, Wang Lingji truly wished to use it right now. What a Panther Head! If you do not die, how can your Maiden Mountain sisters possibly end the star duels? Wang Lingji grimaced, retreating continuously. What a deathbed struggle, what pompous-sounding words. Lin Yingmei said disdainfully, gripping her spear in one hand and sweeping over. Wang Lingji rolled to the side, her wonderful figure appearing very sorry. Infuriating me to death. Scholar in a white robe believed herself to be an uncrowned overlord. To surprisingly be upstaged by the Panther Head, her heart was extremely enraged. She roared. A white rainbow coiled around, using her innate skill spry movements. That white rainbow essence chi wrapped around Wang Lingji's entire body. Following the movements of Scholar in a white robe, she surprisingly left afterimages. These afterimages were unlike those of the Star General's 10,000 techniques realm, rather, they were like substantive killing intent. This spry movement innate skill was a bit similar to Hun Yangzi's light smoke dance steps. Both were body techniques, but it was even more swift. The difference was that spry movements allowed Wang Lingji's afterimages to be lifelike. At the same time it advanced her body techniques, her afterimages would also attack with her. One strike would be like another dozen Wang Lingji's attacking as well. But using this innate skill was very taxing on her star energy. Her realm would also subsequently decrease. Unless as an absolute last resort, Wang Lingji did not want to use it. Lin Yingmei was aggressive, the Arctic Star Serpent Spear easily cutting down Wang Lingji's innate skill. Wang Lingji used her dark technique. This time, the two-character heart weight became more than a dozen. Killing intent advanced, detonating upon Lin Yingmei. Wang Lingji raised her staff, swinging it down at Lin Yingmei's cranium. Lin Yingmei caught the dark technique. Her spear swiftly stabbed towards the sky. Several spry movement afterimages dazzled the eyes, but Lin Yingmei stabbed an afterimage. The double seven's clinging phoenix staff brought rolling thunder as it attacked. Lin Yingmei evaded but only barely. The double seven's clinging phoenix staff smashed into the panther head's shoulder. Even with her shoulder blade shattered, Lin Yingmei did not wince. Instead, a sneer blossomed on the corner of her lips. The spear in her hand spun, unleashing layers of ice and frost. Wang Lingji once again used spry movements. Several afterimages circled around behind Lin Yingmei. Lin Yingmei stuck the spear into the ground, leaping backwards, her figure gracefully arriving behind Wang Lingji. When her spear was extracted, billowing killing intent rushed out. Wang Lingji felt her back turn cold, as if her whole body had been frozen. Naturally, she knew this was freezing frost of 9 provinces. Suddenly sensing danger, she no longer hesitated, finally using her earth rank. Staff shadows filled the sky, becoming countless white phoenixes. Their powerful might pierced through the U-planes. A white pillar that penetrated the heavens entered the 9 firmaments, and the surrounding innumerable white phoenixes fluttered to and fro, an incomparably spectacular sight. When her earth rank was executed, Wang Lingji's spry movements finally waned. The woman retreated continuously, her whole body covered in cuts and bruises. Looking carefully, Lin Yingmei surprisingly was not very hurt. How can this be? Wang Lingji's expression was unsightly. Her earth rank surprisingly was unable to actually produce any injuries. Could this panther head be true Phoenix 7th stage or higher? Just as Wang Lingji was depressed, suddenly, the skies displayed a great change. Star after crimson star fell in the direction of Maiden Mountain. Wang Lingji knew from a glance those crimson stars belonged to Qingxi's faction. Her face lost color upon seeing the starfalls. Lin Yingmei was also startled by this crimson star phenomenon. Both were acutely aware that something major was happening at Maiden Mountain. Lin Yingmei shouted, abruptly stabbing with her spear. A phoenix unrivaled. Wang Lingji felt unable to budge. Against such formidable arrogance, the scholar in a white robe raised the double seven's clinging phoenix staff with difficulty to put up a final struggle. Spear-light twinkled before her eyes. Wang Lingji was too late to receive the strike. Hearing a blizzard in her ears, a spear-light already broke through her staff, sticking directly into her chest. The killing intent upon the spear twisted inside Wang Lingji's body. The scholar in a white robe spat blood. She stuck the double seven's clinging phoenix staff into the ground, barely propping herself up. Lin Yingmei approached from the front. Wang Lingji could even sense the frosty presence emanating from the young woman's body, those eyes appearing particularly cold and detached. How utterly ridiculous, that your servant would unexpectedly die at the hands of an insignificant true spirit. Wang Lingji wretchedly smiled. Your servant will definitely follow young master to end the star duels. Lin Yingmei looked at Maiden Mountain's glaring starfalls. Tears flowed from Wang Lingji's eyes, her heart breaking at the sight of the crimson stars. She smiled as she cried, it's over, it's all over. You all will forever become puppets that slaughter one another, your servant will definitely stop these star duels. Lin Yingmei grit her teeth. Wang Lingji laughed. She finally turned to dust, scattering away. Liked it? True spirit. When Lin Yingmei heard Wang Lingji's words, she was briefly distracted, but now was not the time to dwell on this. Lin Yingmei looked at those unprecedented consecutive starfalls. She raised the 7-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear, flying towards Su Xing. Meanwhile, Xie Zhenyuan finally played his hidden trump card, secure star Yang Luoshui, attempting to use his star general to take Su Xing's head while he was caught off guard. This plan could be considered flawless. The 4-star secure star Yang Luoshui already raised her realm to True Phoenix. After refining her heavenly book, she had reached True Phoenix 3rd stage. If this high realm was released in any other star duel, not a single star master would dare face her directly. The result would have been inevitable death. But he never imagined nor even planned for Su Xing's innate combat capabilities. Although it was mostly due to Lin Chang's battle doctrine that Su Xing possessed superb martial arts, to be able to directly face True Phoenix realm on equal terms still left Xie Zhenyuan in utter disbelief. The 9th star duels were unprecedented. Having faced 7 previous overlords, especially the 7th Hu Banzhuang, Su Xing's martial arts had already reached an inconceivable level. Originally, even Hu Banzhuang was unable to kill Su Xing. Such a thing was even more impossible for Yang Luoshui. You are surprisingly able to block this. Yang Luoshui felt as if she had been humiliated. Her cheeks turned a complete crimson. She raised that enormous guillotine. Luoshui does not believe you can still stop an earth rank. Although the dark yellow blood could help comprehend heaven rank, it was very difficult to stimulate such a thing in a battle like this against a star master. Even if it was stimulated, that would be another kind of humiliation. Yang Luoshui was determined to seize victory using her earth rank. However, even thinking that an earth rank could kill Su Xing was an idiot's dream. The 60 immemorial flying swords formed a sword array around Su Xing. The 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth released multicolored intertwining lights, crisscrossing each other. Purple Cloud East Approaches was released from Su Xing's finger, and the meditative mind lotus flower immediately blossomed in the air. Golden lotuses and their scent filled the cosmos. The Frost Magnificent's shining moon blade shattered most of these, but it was still unable to pierce through Su Xing's chest, to execute him. This abnormal bastard. Yang Luoshui grit her teeth. Xie Zhenyuan saw the situation was deteriorating. Wuxia and the others were now each defeating star generals, coming to Su Xing's aid. By the time these 1,000-year star generals alleviated the situation, everyone else would be dead without burial. An arrow flew over. Xie Zhenyuan used the 3 Clarities banner to intercept it, shouting, "All fellows, help me form an array. We cannot give the purple thunder monster a chance to catch his breath." Quickly. Yan Wudao's face turned cold. He felt his head ache in pain. Zhang Biluo had fallen into the star nest, and his heart became extremely furious. The others quickly activated magic weapons and abilities to hinder Wuxia and the rest. Xie Zhenyuan chanted, taking out the universe vast and desolate banner. He shook the banner, and the heaven-earth dark yellow flying swords flashed green, black, white, and red lights. The treasure swords faded and spun in the air, unraveling around Su Xing along the cardinal directions. Luoshui, do not let him escape. Xie Zhenyuan's voice came through. Immediately, Yang Luoshui understood tacitly. She raised her blade to hold back Su Xing. Then, her forehead star crest flickered, and that woman's eyes glowed. Her blade was right before his eyes. Su Xing's heart sank. Suddenly, he felt a kind of powerful pressure trap him like a cage on the spot. His entire body was surprisingly unable to budge. Yang Luoshui's innate skill heavenly prison normally could produce pressure that slowed the target's movements, but this was not her full ability. After Yang Luoshui completely unleashed heavenly prison, she could fully trap the target in her sight, but she herself would also similarly be unable to move. Using it in coordination with a star master was nevertheless a very wonderful move. Xie Zhenyuan shook the universe vast and desolate banner, raising a foul wind. At the same time, a gloomy mist rose. The heaven-earth dark yellow swords released an ancient might. A heaven-earth dark yellow ancient sword array unfolded around Su Xing, with the center already so dark that Su Xing could not see his hand in front of his face. Light was unable to illuminate in the slightest. Killing intent bounded in the array's center. Gloomy wind howled. Su Xing was attacked by the cold breeze, chilling his whole body. Knowing this was bad, he hastily activated the meditative mind lotus flower and purple cloud east approaches, but having been trapped by the heavenly prison, activation of his powers was very inhibited. You want to take me down with you? Su Xing stared at Yang Luoshui, flabbergasted. The universe vast and desolate clearly formed its own world, isolating her from the star nest. If Yang Luoshui was killed by the sword array, she naturally would not return to the star nest. Instead, her true spirit would vanish. It could be said to be a complete destruction of the body and soul. This was why Su Xing felt disbelief. The young woman beamed widely, showing pure white teeth. So long as this can kill you, what harm is there in sacrificing Luoshui? I never imagined. I actually thought Xie Zhenyuan sincerely wanted to protect his star generals. Su Xing was very disappointed. Yang Luoshui shouted, ridiculous. As long as he can kill you, Purple Thunder Monster, then Xie Zhenyuan will naturally have protected us. Her words were logical, and Su Xing could not refute her. The Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array was an ancient killing array. Su Xing did not dare underestimate it. While his divine intent moved, 12 jade pearl banners flew out. These banners had been refined by Ju Yueka, formed from gathering and developing the quintessence of heaven, earth, and the stars. Although it could not compare to the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Swords, it was still a powerful magic weapon for defense. Die! Xie Zhenyuan shouted, white thunder bursting forth, venting the fury he held towards the star duels. Xie Zhenyuan shook the universe vast and desolate banner, shaking the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow four swords. Then, four golden lights shot towards Yang Luoshui and Su Xing at the center of the array. This Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow ancient killing array did not differentiate between friend or foe. Those caught inside it were doomed. Su Xing felt an enormous pressure leap into his face, stifling him, inhibiting his breathing. His mind felt incomparably heavy, as if he was being squashed by Mount Tai. Golden serpents danced in the array, wind howled, the world undulated, thunder crashed intensely, shaking mountains and rivers. The four treasure swords each fired a ray of light straight toward Su Xing. It was as if all power in the Yangshan continent, all power in the universe, was gathering at the center of this array. The 12 banners lasted for mere moments before being shredded by the first sword light. The Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array, like its name suggested, attacked 4 times, once for each of the Heaven, Earth, Dark, and Yellow, beginning with Yellow, and ending with Heaven. Each attack was more than 100 times stronger than the last. The first sword light completely disintegrated the 12 banners, and the second sword light fired without hesitation right after the first. Lord Husband. When Wuxia saw that Su Xing had been trapped by the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow Sword Array, her heart panicked. She wished she could cut Xie Zhenyuan down. When the others saw that the Purple Thunder Monster had finally been trapped in the immemorial killing array after so much difficulty, they would not allow him to escape. Yen Wudao activated the 9 Palaces Lantern. The lantern hovered above, releasing thousands of rays of light that illuminated the world, stopping Wuxia's killing intent, die. Wuxia slashed with her swords, attacking with blood-splashing Mandarin Duck. Then, the pilgrim's true phoenix realm was fully unleashed, the noble frost demonic lotus directly breaking the 9 Palaces Lantern. Yen Wudao's expression changed as he was cut down to the ground by Wuxia, as if he was on the brink of death. Man Emperor Dragon Slaying Sword. Gong Song activated his last magic weapon, being shot through by Hua Wenyue's arrow. Xie Chang'an used the 6 Patriarchs' Saraira protection. Lady Snake Scorpion relied on the rock feather clothes, using her goo poison arts to hinder Su Xing's star generals. Against top-notch martial generals, they were completely unable to stall them for too long without star generals, but the heaven-earth dark yellow sword array only needed a few seconds. They were gambling on Su Xing's death. The second sword, dark, then attacked. Su Xing's purple cloud east approaches was entirely destroyed by the sword's light. If it was not for Su Xing using the meditative mind lotus flower in his practically divine corporeal body, he would have been heavily injured by this killing intent. I truly admire you. Su Xing stared at Yang Luoshui. Yang Luoshui fared no better. She relied on her true phoenix realm and Xie Zhenyuan to merely aim killing intent at Su Xing, so what she received was nowhere near as intense as what Su Xing faced. Even so, the girl's skin was already streaked with blood and bruises. Yang Luoshui only sneered. Perhaps it was because she was receiving this heaven-earth dark yellow sword array's powerful killing intent, it made the secure star's dark yellow blood boil at the same time. Amidst this deathbed struggle, Yang Luoshui vaguely felt her heaven rank reveal itself in her mind. What a pity I did not have a chance to use it. Yang Luoshui thought to herself. Imperial sister, do you see now? This is the end of the purple thunder monster. He has Lin Chong and Wu Song, but so what? In the end, he is still on the road to ruin. With him dead, the others are funerary sacrifices. After all is said and done, I, Zhao Heng, had better eyesight than you, Zhao Hanyan. I can scale Maiden Mountain at the end. Since you love him so much, this highness shall oblige you next. Zhao Heng saw that Su Xing was trapped and let out howling laughter. Land of the King's yellow sands stirred and followed like shadows. Dong Junqing had killed Suo Qingshuang, but trapped by the land of the king, aggravation filled her heart. Hearing him directly call out the Ling Yan princess name, she was even more infuriated, wanting to use her earth rank to might as well kill this prince. To think that the heaven-earth dark yellow sword array can kill Su Xing, you all really have severely underestimated him. Zhao Hanyan was unfazed, coldly glaring at him. She pointed her hand, calling forth servants of the king. 12 giant bronze statues of indomitable spirit and massive power appeared. Zhao Heng's smile promptly froze. Shit. That stupid imperial father would surprisingly aid the enemy. Zhao Heng screamed. Land of the King's wind rolled towards the 12 bronze statues. Just at this moment, crimson stars fell one after another in the direction of Maiden Mountain. Zhao Hanyan saw that this was bad and used the 12 golems to block Land of the King. Instantly, she arrived in front of Zhao Heng. Zhao Hanyan's cultivation was too far above Zhao Heng's. If it was not for her mercy, Zhao Heng would have already suffered miserable defeat. You need to be taught a lesson. The Ling Yan princess glared coldly at him, using true immortal finger. Zhao Heng's chest hurt. He suddenly screamed and collapsed on the ground. The yellow sand receded. Without even sparing him another glance, Zhao Hanyan flew in Su Xing's direction. With something major happening at Maiden Mountain, there was already no longer any time to dilly-dally. When the third Earth Sword Light attacked, Su Xing's 60 immemorial flying swords suffered a blow to their spiritual power, their defenses smashed. Activating the Earth Book's defense, it was powerless to defend and was nearly destroyed. As he saw this, Su Xing pondered whether or not to activate the last thing he had, the 5 Dragons Lantern, but this 5 Dragons Lantern was to be used against Song Qingci or Fang La's faction at the end. I really can't underestimate this Xie Zhenyuan, Su Xing grit his teeth. He never thought that the sole trouble the monster-slaying alliance brought him was unexpectedly this former number 1 star master of the Azure Dragon territory that was overlooked. Yang Luoshui could last no longer. The heavenly prison crumbled under the earth-killing array. The girl was already on the verge of collapse, unable to ward off the imminent strongest heaven-killing intent. Su Xing drastically lowered his hostility towards her. Speaking from another perspective, to be able to willingly sacrifice herself for her contractor, Ang Luoshui was an opponent worthy of respect and admiration. Xie Zhenyuan's heart filled with an indescribable pleasure. He smiled malevolently, and even the Ho Rulan in his embrace was somewhat fearful. Meanwhile, Lady Snake Scorpion Xiejiao was killed into the star nest. The other star masters who were intercepting also fell one after another, powerless to continue. Xie Zhenyuan completely did not care. The final, heaven kill, took form. Die. The anger that he had repressed for a dozen years poured out at this moment. All of his magic energy completely gathered into this heaven kill. Just at this moment, Su Xing abruptly saw a golden bridge form inside the universe vast and desolate's killing array. Multicolored lights flashed, illuminating the world. Then, he heard Hu Mi's voice, "Get on. Damn you." When Xie Zhenyuan saw the supreme ultimate diagram, his expression changed. Caring no longer, he promptly used the heaven kill array. The heaven-earth dark yellow four swords shook, and a tidal wave of sword-light gushed over. "Luo Shui, seize him now!" Xie Zhenyuan shouted. Young Luo Shui was already powerless. She could only grit her teeth, tighten her grip on her guillotine, and prepare to unleash all her power the moment Su Xing turned his back to her to board the bridge, but just at this moment, she suddenly felt something tug her hand. Yang Luo Shui's tense heartstrings were stunned. Her line of sight cleared, spotting Su Xing. Su Xing's expression was grave as he pulled Yang Luo Shui onto the supreme ultimate golden bridge. The terrifying heaven kill array subsequently followed. Everything in the center of the array was completely destroyed. Yang Luo Shui was struck dumb, feeling disbelief at what had happened before her eyes. She had surprisingly been rescued by this man, you. There've already been enough starfalls. I admire you. Climb the mountain with us, let's end the star duels together. Su Xing could not bear the girl's destruction, finally pulling the girl along. You. Yang Luo Shui was unable to say anything else. The pitiless secure star loathed compassion, her heart like stone, but in that moment she heard Su Xing's words, in that moment she was pulled onto the golden bridge by Su Xing, her heart shuddered like never before. Even when she originally signed a contract with Xie Zhenyuan, she never had such a sensation. Damn you! Yang Luo Shui powerlessly said in her mind. The monster-slaying alliance. Its defeat was already certain. Liked it? Hu Mi, you traitor, you bitch, Xie Zhenyuan hurled curses. He completely lost the bearing of an elegant gentleman that he had from before, but he could not be blamed for this. He had planned so meticulously. Originally, he had planned to sacrifice secure star Sik Guan Soa Yang Luo Shui using the heaven-earth dark yellow to kill the purple thunder monster after the others injured him. By doing so, he would obtain the star energy of the purple thunder monster's dozen star generals. He had absolute confidence he would become the sole overlord. But when the time came his meticulous plan had failed at the last moment. Bitch, 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 Xie Zhenyuan itched to cut Hu Mi to pieces. It turned out this woman had been seduced by the purple thunder monster in the end. He saw that Wu Song and Lin Yingmei had just about finished defeating everyone else. Xie Zhenyuan knew that he had lost the advantage. Defeat was already certain, and there was no way to turn things around. Luo Shui, return. Xie Zhenyuan shouted, recalling the heaven-earth dark yellow swords. He used his last bit of magic energy to shake the three clarities banner. 3 wisps of clear chi shot out and released 3 doppelgangers that fled towards Maiden Mountain. Lin Yingmei and Wuxia killed 2 of them, nevertheless, one managed to escape. You should not have saved me. Yang Luo Shui resentfully rebuked Su Xing, entering Xie Zhenyuan's star nest at the same time. The remaining star masters were not so fortunate as Xie Zhenyuan. They faced the most direct fury of Lin Yingmei and Wuxia. Yi Futu raised the 7 feathers fan. 7 immemorial clinging fires flew out, transforming into Luan birds, phoenixes, vermilion birds, and other divine beasts. But Yi Futu had spent too much energy. The divine beasts appeared extremely frail. At this moment, this prehistoric spirit treasure had already lost its might. Gong Kaiwei summoned the black crystal ice Qilin. Its icy breath completely blocked the 7 feathers fan's flames. Yi Futu promptly retreated but Zhu Sha's eyes had been watching for this step back. He landed perfectly into the divine strategist's trap. The woman was gracefully indifferent, the 5 elements weather banner unfurling around her. Yi Futu was overwhelmed with shock, but at the moment, he had lost Hao Bingxin. He had no chance at all of victory. Among them, Xian Lao was counted as the strongest. Seeing that the monster-slaying alliance was broken, she was not reluctant to leave. At the first moment she hurried in the direction of the starfalls, not caring about the others anymore. Yi Futu, Yen Wudao, Gong Song, Lady Snake Scorpion, and the others saw that the situation was beyond hopeless and were immediately in incomparable despair. Just at this moment, Su Xingxiang used the peacock dream-weaving fan, rolling it out. Multicolored lights emerged from this fan. Crimson, white, black, yellow, and green lights surrounded Yi Futu and the others. Their divine lights were like feathers, immediately making Wuxia and the rest's attacks amount to nothing. Everyone was quite surprised to see Su Xingxiang had intervened. The girl was currently strenuously enduring, not abandoning them. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Just as he was about to move out, crimson stars fell one after another along the horizon, like a meteor shower. Upon seeing this abnormality, Su Xing knew that something had drastically changed on Song Qingxi's end. He no longer had any mind to pay to the battle with these star masters. Quickly go on then. Something major is happening over there. The golden bridge vanished. Hu Mi's complexion was pale. Consecutively using the supreme ultimate diagram twice has depleted her magic energy. Su Ning had also been heavily injured against Lu Shaking as well as wasted much of her vitality. Right, drink this. Perhaps it will be of help. Hu Mi took out a golden cup. It was filled with a red liquid, iridescent as blood, wafting the scent of alcohol. Climb the mountain together with me. Su Xing said. He took this cup of dark yellow blood, drinking it all. When you finish things over there, Hu Mi will naturally follow you. Hu Mi smiled and said. You be careful. Su Xing nodded. He glanced at these people. Because he worried about Song Qingxi, he made no more plans for them. His escape technique activated, moving swiftly towards Maiden Mountain. Su Xing's body techniques were swift, his heart like water. Qingxi, please be safe. Recalling this graceful and poetic woman, Su Xing inwardly tightened his fist. Zhao Huanyan, Gong Kaiwei, and Xiyu followed close behind. Sisters, we must quickly go as well. Wu Xinjie was very worried. Everyone's escape techniques were like a rainbow, and they vanished from the U-planes in the blink of an eye. The originally bustling U-planes battlefield immediately calmed down. Your Highness. Huyen Shuang landed, coming to Xie Chang'an's side. Shuanger, are you alright? Xie Chang'an asked. I fought to my heart's content. Ha, ha, the purple thunder monster's wives are truly incredible. Huyen Shuang laughed. Her opponent was Hunyangzi, a peerlessly talented and stunning woman of unique beauty. Although Huyen Shuang had a 6-star destined weapon, Hunyangzi had a 7-star. The two of them were evenly matched. If it was not for the shower of crimson stars, the two of them were even prepared to use their heaven ranks to decide the victor. Your Highness, let us go look over there. Huyen Shuang showed extreme interest. Xie Chang'an nodded. The two of them rushed towards Maiden Mountain. This purple thunder monster surprisingly let us go. This is too unbelievable. Gong Song said weakly. He must be plotting something again. Lady Snake Scorpion saw her dying husband and was torn with anxiety, but she was contained by the multicolored divine light and unable to break free. Su Xingxiang, many thanks for saving us. Yan Wudao cupped his fist. He had nearly been slashed to death by Wuxia's sword. At the moment he was very weak. If it was not for Su Xingxiang using the peacock dream-weaving fan to protect him, he would have already died on the spot. Many thanks. The others also humbly expressed their gratitude. Su Xingxiang wore a faint smile. She held a black parasol, walking barefoot on the desert, creating a ripple as if on water. Under the umbrella of her charm, her smile was alluring. Suddenly, Yan Wudao sensed something was off. He looked at that black umbrella. Save you. Ah, ha, 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 in the end, the 7 Stars Assembly only needs 7 people. Su Xing, Zhao Hanyan, Shiyu, Gong Kaiwei, there is just enough room for Xingxiang's position. Su Xingxiang's voice was very, very soft. The others' expressions changed. They had only thought of killing Su Xing to wrest his enormous star energy to become overlord, but Su Xingxiang nevertheless thought of the 7 Stars Assembly's quota to ascend the mountain. Killing Su Xing actually would have been fine, too, but if they were unable to kill him, she only needed to turn herself into one of the final 7 to still emerge as a victor. Zhao Hanyan and the others are climbing the mountain. Presumably, that Su Xing will not kill them, Xingxiang still wins. Run away. Humi screamed. Su Xingxiang spun the parasol, a smile still hanging upon her lips. The 10,000 souls parasol specters poured into the world, suddenly plunging it into darkness and flooding it with ghostly howls. The purple thunder monster is not one bit like a monster. It would be better to let Xingxiang be this villain. True despair followed. Maiden Mountain, outside 7 Worthies Forest. Fan Mojia was currently quietly leaning against a stalk of bamboo, peacefully asleep. The world surrounding her seemed to be in the purest tranquility. There was no killing intent, no stench of blood. Occasionally, the girl would hesitantly open her dark blue eyes to stare sleepily at the birds in front of her, sinking into deep contemplation. Just outside the forest, 100 steps away. Killing intent surged, the stench of blood soaked the earth, and a mellow flute melody seemed to be weeping. Fonger, Schwer, Song Qingzi did not dare believe the reality unfolding before her eyes. Aid star Little Marquis of Wen Lu Fong and help star comparable to Rengue Gua Shui stared wide-eyed, as if they had not come to their senses, but looking closely, their bodies were already run through by arrows. They were then struck down by star magic. Without any chance at all to fight back, the 2 girls immediately star fell. All. Horn Star Single-Horn Dragon Zhou Ku and Li Shuangfei madly rushed out to avenge their sisters. The 7-star Fong of Broken Skies was incomparably tyrannical, but against the buxom Buddhist woman, she was still powerless to fight back. Horn Star and Walking Star followed suit with their starfalls. Big sister, run away. Sik Yuchi Sun Yueying knew from a glance the 4 people in front of them were extremely formidable. She immediately shouted. Sun Yueying was not escaping at all, rather, she gripped her 1,000 snow piles and 10,000 clouds to use her earth rank, instant flourish and decay past hand. Sword Star Tai Sui who stands his ground Wan Jiner summoned 10,000 flying swords, throwing out her azure sea green duckweed, similarly using earth rank Shoei in a flash. Tears spilled down Beast Star Huangfu Yoyin's cheeks. She played her 7-star 10,000 beast hibernating flute. Powerful star beasts were summoned by her, dying in a steady stream on the battlefield. 5 Tigers General Qin Mingyue straddled her thunder beast Rosy Cloud, using her thunderclap intimidation. The enormous wolf tooth fire beacon mace carried the force of heaven fall earth rend. The Xian Liang Shu de generals sneered. They had waited for Song Jiang for so long. They acted without any mercy, facing their fury with indifference. Pang Shu drew her bow, firing off stars that filled the skies. Bao Nyang'er's fingers opened, and countless white spirits shot out from her fingertips, whirling around endlessly. Deng Wuda chanted. With each strike of her Chan staff, the shackles on her arm clattered. Watch this. Eat Mingyue's mace. Heaven fall earth rend. Roar. 5 tigers. General Qin Mingyue's wild dance brandished the giant mace. The lowly appeared very frail, but her attacks were very tyrannical. Her realm was already true phoenix, her power incomparably strong. Each time she smashed the ground, there was an enormous earthquake, rustling the entire bamboo forest. Against the savage lowly's violent attacks, Pang Shu was outdone. Her archery was completely unable to suppress her. Little sister, watch this. Qin Mingyue's thunder beast was killed. The little lowly shouted as she raised the mace to smash Pang Shu. Her powerful thunderclap intimidation made Pang Shu's heart shudder. Who is your little sister? Pang Shu cursed, hastily pulling back, but the powerful flames and astral wind it created still scratched her face painfully. You are too noisy. You will disturb Her Highness' rest. A lofty voice suddenly rang beside Qin Mingyue. The lowly was astonished to see that a woman had strangely appeared. Her figure was graceful, though her expression was cold. Qin Mingyue shouted, raising the mace to pound her into a meat cake. Shi Xian drew her sword and slashed. Blood light passed over Qin Mingyue's body. Qin Mingyue's movements instantly stiffened. Shi Xian ignored her and proceeded to walk onwards. Her target was only Song Qingxi. Little sister, do not run. Qin Mingyue grit her teeth, spinning around to stop Shi Xian. The girl had walked only a few steps when she suddenly felt strange. The world had gone quiet. She looked at Sun Yueying and the others fighting, but the sound was growing further and further away. What happened? I am not done swinging my mace yet. Qin Mingyue raised her hand, only to discover her hand had already disappeared. Big sister, what is happening? Why are you so sad? She looked at Song Qingxi, teasing her. Then, her big sister's face grew further away. Her voice, breath, and even her memories became nothingness. Elder sister. Qin Mingyue left behind a groggy call, her figure vanishing. Fiery thunderbolt, starfall. Sister Qingxi, run away now. Go find Chao Gai, or that man. Sick tiger Xue Mingxi was currently putting all her strength into the good and evil karma banner, guarding in front of Song Qingxi with a funeral rite of souls. The scenes that appeared before them made the Xue Mingxi who had witnessed countless sorrowful partings once again feel a heavy heart. I truly loathe this kind of feeling. Xue Mingxi said. Then she saw inferior star living goddess of lightning Wang Jingji die to Pang Shu's arrows. Her teleportation was unable to escape those watchful arrows, and Xian Yunshang's string of arrows and Ding Wanjing's arrow force under heaven were no match. I truly loathe this feeling of parting. Xue Mingxi mumbled, glancing at Ding Wanjing, carrying endless longing. Her white banner unfurled, and Xue Mingxi listened carefully. The world instantly turned silent. All of Liangshan continent's feelings of life and death partings seemed to concentrate under her good and evil karma banner. Rays of white light flashed and wrapped around Xue Mingxi. The hat she wore was blown off, exposing her beautiful long hair. It fluttered, dancing around like fairies. Her black hair transformed into pure white. The yellow shorts and vest she wore slowly turned into a white silk skirt. Even Feng Mojia could not help but open her eyes at this extraordinary sight, gazing at the sky. By my body, watch over this endless night. Oh, souls separated by yin and yang, please set aside that sorrow, Xue Mingxi quietly chanted. Mingxi, no. Ding Wanjing sobbed. Jingluan. Wanjiner knew immediately when she saw Xue Mingxi's actions. She glanced silently at 9 tattooed dragons Shi Jingluan, Xue Mingxi, and the others, charging a technique in preparation to kill Shi Xian. Little sister Mingxi, what are you doing? Song Qingxi suddenly felt endless throbbing from the heavenly star birth banner in her hand. She did her utmost to fix sick tiger Xue Mingxi's star in place, but this was completely out of her control. Although the time I knew elder sister was short, Mingxi feels very pleasant. It turns out, the sisters really can transcend mutual slaughter. Wanjing, I am very happy to have been your partner for so many years in the star duels. Shui Mingxi, do you remember when we first met? I was sleeping, and when you saw that I was not breathing, you thought I had died. You surprisingly even dug a grave to bury me in. Shui Mingxi, the sick tiger's body is very frail, in other words, they appear to be on the verge of starfalling at any time. If you died, how wretched would it be for no one to bury you? You are my little sister, so I stayed by your side. When you die, I would find a place with good feng shui to bury you in. Ding Wanjing, hey, Shui Mingxi, don't sleep from now on. If you fall asleep without breathing, I will have to dig a hole, and digging is very tiring. Ding Wanjing, we seem to be able to sign a contract. We can climb the mountain together then. Ha, I am so glad. Ding Wanjing, thanks, Wanjing. I am so grateful to you for staying with me for so long. Sick tiger Shui Mingxi at this moment shed her previous frailty. She appeared with unprecedented brilliance. White light gathered under the greatest quintessential body in the world. The sound of souls formed into a perfect song. Shi Xian stopped her advance, feeling the sword in her hand quiver. What is the meaning of this? This girl, her narrowed eyes finally widened. Shi Xian showed an expression of astonishment for the first time. Shui Mingxi at this time opened her eyes. She spread her arms, and the good and evil karma banner stopped flapping. Then, it became a white rainbow that poured into her body. Shui Mingxi slightly smiled. Her whole body became a white light that fell toward Shi Xian. In the white light that filled the skies, the young girl changed into fluttering white clothes. In their awe, she made everyone seem to think of Xuannu of ninth heaven. Shui Mingxi's crimson star fell at the same time. Heaven rank. See you next life. Shi Xian was in the middle of the white light. Formidable power practically froze all sound in the world. Ding Wanjing felt her mental connection to Shui Mingxi sever. The girl released a wail, for she knew they would not possibly meet in their next life. Liked it, that you're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.